welcome to the 329th episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on March 26th, 2023. My name is Brad Galloway. I'm the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's back from his lab after evading the authorities, Carlos Rodella.
Yeah, I was up to a bunch of nefarious things, and I'm back.
Good. None of those microbes escape into the atmosphere. You're all good? Everything lab locked down securely?
Yeah, I was working on like a lot of cures for things, actually.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, feel free to spread those around. We need some of those these days.
I'm just going to give them away for free. Isn't that a crazy idea? Once I come up with a cure,
insane. Yeah,
I'm just going to give them away.
At least $150 per dose is what the going rate is, so maybe think about that.
No, it's going to be zero. It's going to be
Nice.
zero. We need more like positivity in this world. Also, I'm not working on a cure for anything, but I just yes-and it. I was off, just chilling. And also, as you know, probably heard last couple episodes, I was like so over games.
Yeah.
And then, it takes a minute, and I think you like DM me and you're like, hey, go read a book. And I'm like, I will do that. I have lots of books.
Yes, that is true. I did actually DM you that. That's funny.
Yeah. And so I did nothing for a while, and then a couple things happened where some of the games we're talking on the show today popped up. Also, I've been playing, I can finally say now, I've been playing Wolcen for a while, which we'll talk about today.
All right.
And then Diablo 4 beta happened. So I had a couple of reasons to jump back into gaming.
Oh, right on. Well, we're glad to have you back. You were certainly missed last week. I got some people saying, "Hey, where's Carlos?" And I'm like, he's fine. He's just, he's doing the experiments. He's cooking math. I don't know. He's in.
Jeez, you got to come up better answers than the ones you're giving. They're not good.
Whatever seems funny to me at the time is what I say. But we all know you were just out for a minute. Glad you're back. You were certainly missed. It was definitely a different show without you. And I don't even want to admit how many times I paused like a dumbass waiting for you to jump in, and then you were literally not there, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I should probably keep talking then.
That's funny. I actually did listen to most of the episode, and the beginning was a lot of that. You're like,
yes,
okay,
it was.
Here's the part where Carlos would say something, and now it's just going to be me again.
Yes, that was very awkward and dumb, and took me a minute to find my feet. Glad you're back, sir. Welcome back. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff on the agenda today, and I say we should probably just get back in the swing of things. So why don't we kick it off with some housekeeping? Everybody knows that Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape, and last week I fucked up Carlos' side because he wasn't here. I cleaned it up before he got back. I probably left a few traces, but I don't know. Hope he won't notice. But let's get to it, Carlos. Housekeeping. What you got on your side this week?
Well, I noticed, by the way. I noticed exactly what you did.
I figured you might notice.
You started stomping around on my side. You left pizza. You actually added a new pizza box because I already had one here.
Well, there's already 12. I didn't think you'd notice the 13th.
I did notice the 13th. Man, now I want pizza. It's been a while. Okay.
It's been a while.
I might get that today. So, a couple things. One, some infographic came out, which I'm always a sucker for, about Elden Ring.
Okay.
And it said, I'm probably getting this number wrong, but I think it said something like, people died in Elden Ring 96 billion times or something.
like the world over, everybody.
Some crazy number, yeah.
I believe it. That seems realistic to me. That seems low.
It is, yeah, nice. But the other thing is that they broke it down. I thought this was interesting, especially because how many times you've died in that game for a specific reason.
Wait. Was it half of it was through that fucker on the horse, right, when you start the game? Like 50% of all deaths with that guy?
Nice. I don't know the specifics. Oh, no. It's actually, how do you say her name again? Melania?
Oh, Melania
or whatever, yeah.
The one at the very end, yeah.
That, I think, is the most deaths.
I believe it.
Because people keep going back to her, and trying to beat her. But it said 69% was AI and enemies, just like general, bad monster guys and gals. And then there's also status effects falling, but the lowest number, which is only 2%, was from other players.
That makes perfect sense to me because you only get invaded when you're playing with a friend.
Right.
You do not get invaded if you're on your own, which is mind-blowing to me. I mean, number one, because tons of people are going to be playing without a friend, and I think they would like to enjoy the sheer misery of getting invaded by people. But also, that means people who play with a friend, which is me and my wife all the way through, we took all those invasions for you. It's almost like a Jesus Christ sort of a thing where I took those things and I nailed myself to the cross so that you guys wouldn't have to suffer through that. That's me. I did that. I took those invasions. You're welcome.
Well, that's funny. But the other thing is that means that people who are playing single player didn't very often go online to kill other players, right? Because if they did, then they would have died in those invasions. So it kind of says to me that multiplayer wasn't a thing as much as, you know what I mean?
I mean, I gotta know. I gotta know because I gotta tell you, because me and the wife, we played the almost 99% of the campaign together, which was great. And I loved it, except we literally got invaded like every 2 minutes. And so I feel like literally every invader in the world was in queue to kill us. So I don't know how that breaks down because there's not that many people playing cooperatively. I mean, I would be curious to see how many people did that. And I don't think that summoning for a boss, like if you're standing outside the boss door and you just go into the boss when you summon somebody, that to me doesn't really count the same way that we were playing co-op, which was we would just start at the beginning of a level and go through the entire level and, like, you know, fight guys and adventure and explore stuff together, where we would spend way more time together as a group, as a pair. So that time, oh dude, like never ending invasion. So I'd be curious to see, you know, what percentage of players of Elden Ring did play in co-op for a significant amount of time. That's what I'd like to know.
That said, even with that, what I'm saying is if the number is, and this is from FromSoft, you know, 2% is from other players, that means even people who are like being asses and going invading other people, they still would have killed people, and that killing of people would have become a percentage. And so that percentage isn't still very high. So I think that what happened to you and what happened to people in co-op was actually a rarity. And most people didn't do that.
I agree. I think that we were definitely an edge case because I don't think. I mean, so yes, I also think that most people didn't play the way we did, which is fine. But also, I think with the greatly expanded audience, I mean, I forget what the number is of how many copies they sold, but they sold. I mean, this was their biggest selling game of all time. I'm pretty sure by a large margin. And so, just by expanding that audience, not everybody who bought this game is going to be like the online PvP troll, right? And so, the people who might have been the PvP players from Dark Souls and they carried it over to Dark Souls 2 and, you know, whatever, those people might still be there, but since the audience is so much larger, they became a much smaller percentage, I would guess. Because I don't think the average person is really hot to go kill other players online because you're a dick. You're a dick when you do that.
Yeah, you are. Also, 2% of a very big number is also like still a lot of people.
True, that's very true. That is true.
Okay, so that's a thing. And anyways, I was definitely one of those numbers. Or we were both one of those.
Yeah, you and me both, dude. You and me both.
Falling, by the way, was actually quite a bit of my deaths. So GDC happened.
Yeah.
It's weird because I used to be in San Francisco and I would go every single year, and it's one of my favorite shows, or at least it used to be, because I like going to the panels and like just learning about game development and how people worked on games, and then seeing demos and stuff like that. So anyways, I didn't really report on it or like check out a lot of the stuff at it, but I did see Unreal 5 demos as well as that face capture thing they showed. Did you see that?
I did not. I did not pay very much attention to GDC at all. The only thing I noticed from GDC was when people got back from GDC and half the people said they had COVID. That's the only thing I noticed.
Anyways.
I mean, are you surprised, folks? Are you really surprised?
No,
anyway.
But I'm not going to focus on that
That's
part.
fine.
I'm
We
going to
don't have
focus
to
on the
focus on
game
that.
part.
That's all I noticed from GDC.
Okay, well, here's a couple other things. One, Unreal 5 demos, which is, you know, tricky because, again, not many people are still using Unreal 5. Like the games that we talk about on this show.
Are we not? What are we up to?
I mean, most people are using 4 or their own engine or, you know.
Oh, are you saying because that's brand new?
Yeah, it's new-ish. I mean, the point is it's not brand new. They were just showing kind of like new things you can do with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I think there's a bunch of YouTube videos I've been watching that basically say like, hey, where are the Unreal 5 games? Because they're not really a ton of them being made.
Okay, I don't even keep up with that anymore,
Okay, well,
dude. I'm just like, you could have told me Unreal 14, I'd be like, okay.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you're back.
Anyways, Unreal 5, very cool. Some of the stuff you can do in that, procedurally generating stuff, just helping developers make cooler things. Yes. Lords of the Fallen, by the way, which is that reboot of Lords of the Fallen.
Jesus.
I know, we probably both aren't going to play it, but it's using some of the new kind of tech in Unreal 5. Like when you make a character in an RPG, which, you know, we both like doing.
Sure.
It will like just adjust the armor. So like, you know, if you make the size of the body different, it just kind of
the armor grows to fit.
Yeah. Simple things like that are like quality of life stuff that are pretty cool.
Just to pause on that for one moment.
Yeah,
Not the armor, but Lord of the Fallen. That was a miserable game.
Yeah, we both didn't like it. Yeah.
No, it was terrible. I don't really know anybody who legitimately likes it. I know some people who like it for shits and giggles or like because it's so bad that it's good. But I don't know anybody that thinks that game was really good, and I'm very surprised that these people. I mean, they must have made so much money being one of the earlier Souls clones that they are going to parlay this into a sequel. But like, dude, they had so many wrong turns in that game. I am 100% not excited in the least to see what they're doing with that next game.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll never talk about it again.
There we go. Done. Put a bow on it.
Lords of Fallen's off the show. The other thing I was going to mention that is very cool, just kind of like objectively, I think, is the metahuman animator, which is the face capture thing.
Tell me about it. I know nothing about this.
So metahuman's been around for a little bit, and they've been working really hard at making the most realistic kind of face capture. Hellblade uses, I think, their technology.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, hopefully will be out soon this year. Xbox, I'm looking at you. Yes, of course there is. What are you living under rocks?
Dude, I just like I haven't played the first Hellblade, right? And
which is also a sin.
Yeah, I know. It's on my list. I think I own it like at least twice, if not more, and I just have not made the time for it. But it's just one. It's not something that I'm like really psyched for. Maybe if I had played the first one, I'd be more excited for it.
Well, the first one, by the way, and I'm not sure if they're gonna. I mean, they're gonna continue with this, but as a quick tangent, what was so really interesting about it and almost difficult is that it's talking about mental health and real issues with the people have like many voices in their head, right?
Sure. Oh yeah, I deal with that all the time.
So this is the kind of experiencing that. So it's a tough play. I beat that game and really enjoyed it, but it really was about experiencing what other people are going through, because you use your headphones, right? And it's like lots of different voices, and it changes your perspective. And and then I mix that together with like the most realistic kind of face capturing, software. It becomes a real experience. So I
should go back and play it, dude.
You should.
So number one, like just in my personal life, I mean, I've worked in mental health I worked in mental health full time for like 12 years. And so I know all about people with voices, and I deal with people like that every single day. So that's something that is real to me, and I know what that's all about because I've, not me personally, I don't have voices in my head, but other people do, and I work with them. So that was a thing. So I am curious about it from that aspect. But, I often play games with no sound on. Like I'm often doing something else, or I got to keep an ear out. And people kept telling me over and over, you got to play this with headphones. And like, I'm just like, but I don't often play with headphones. I often don't play a game with sound on. And it just was like, if I'm missing half the experience by not having headphones, then I just kind of lost motivation to play it. You know what I mean?
It makes sense. You can't play the game without headphones. You can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
You mustn't,
I don't know.
and you can't. Please.
Yeah,
do
I don't
not.
know if they. So number one, that kind of irritates me because, right? What about all the people with hearing disabilities? What about the deaf people and people who maybe only have, one ear that works and one ear that doesn't work, or they've got some kind of difficulty? That game is just like I haven't looked into their accessibility. Have they?
No,
done
I think it's pretty
it?
damn good. Yeah. I forgot because I turned it off, but they do a lot of stuff on screen.
Okay,
so
I should look into that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they don't do. I mean, they're all about the inclusivity of like, hey, understand other people's perspectives. Also, there's an amazing documentary in the game.
I did hear about that, yeah.
It's fucking incredible. So, like, no. I love everything they're doing. Hellblade 2, this is a crazy tangent. You should play it.
I should try it.
So anyways, they're showing the new technology. Hellblade 2 will use parts of it. But what it does is it lets you take your phone, which has never happened before, and just face capture yourself on the phone, throw it to the software, put it on a rig, and now it's in your game. And
as ease of developing tools.
Yeah. But I mean, and everybody can use it. Like it's not just for, full on development. Like you can use it for, I think, different other things. So
gotcha.
Anywho, very cool. I think it's going to help a lot of indie developers as well.
Just let's pause on this for 1 second because I think there's something related to this. So this is somewhat outside of our purview, but I think it's just something worth thinking about because we don't think about this enough. We often let tech run full speed ahead while the rest of us, in terms of like culture and sociology and society, like lag really far behind, right? And so somebody on Twitter posted this really thoughtful article, and I apologize for not being able to remember what their name was. They were not a game person. They were like a tech ethicist or something like that. And they were like, we are right on the cusp of not being able to tell if any audio or video that we see is real anymore because the AI has gotten so good. And they're like, yeah, it seems cool, but when you think about it for like 0.4 seconds, that's actually highly dangerous because anything you see could be fake. Anything you hear could be fake. And we need to start getting a control on that because with people who are not, responsible, people who may have nefarious purposes, they get their hands on this technology. I mean, the potential for harm is incalculable, man.
Yeah, I have two minds of it. I should just say yes and move on, but I won't. I mean, you're not wrong. Also, when books came out, people were like, we're fucked because everybody can say any story they want.
But there's a large difference between a book and a deepfake.
There wasn't then though. There wasn't.
No, that's different. No, books was because we were sharing ideas.
I know.
Deepfake is like if you look at a video and it's a picture of Barack Obama killing a bunch of kids in Guantanamo Bay. That's fake, but it would look really real. And if somebody put that video out to harm Democrats or like liberals, half the people in America would think it was real. You know what I'm saying?
Asterisks to that. If it was that extreme, no one would believe it.
Oh,
so
dude.
it would have to be a little
bit more. You're giving people way too much credit, I think.
Okay. Anyways, we can agree to disagree that the books are exactly the same thing because, I mean, I've read enough history and I've read enough, like, fiction even and nonfiction around that time period that, you know, we've talked about, I think, on the show before. They used to, like, chain up books, like chain them up.
Sure.
So you can't get rid of them. So someone can't bring that message to another country and learn something and invade that country and change like the whole fucking globe. So to think that they're not as equally damaging, I think they are they were.
Well, it's the other way though, right? Because people who were in control didn't want the people on the bottom to get that knowledge. They didn't want them to learn things. They didn't want them to know things because they're easier to control that way. The Duke in his castle didn't want those dudes in his hayfield to like get uppity ideas about how much they should get for money and how they should have better conditions. He wanted them to think that all they knew was what there was. And as soon as those ideas got out there, that's when the peasants start revolting, right? That's when they like march to the Bastille in France and behead all those motherfuckers. That's why they didn't want those books out, because it would get people to rise up from their station, which is, you know, the opposite of what the royals wanted.
Right.
But with deep fakes and stuff, I mean, you can use it to like influence so much. I don't think it's about bringing new ideas. I think it's about perverting the ideas and putting false ideas out there to control the narrative, right? Like turning people, like if you showed, like, you know, right now everybody's against trans people, and I am 100% against that. I mean, we are in support of trans people. But if somebody put out some deep fake video of some famous trans person doing something atrocious, that a lot of people would think that was real, you know, and then that would turn the tide against trans people even further, which is already too far. And then it would just push the whole political cycle even to a more negative spin. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about sharing ideas and keeping people down. It's about controlling what we think and moving the needle that way.
I think they have their own, what's it called? Two sides of the same coin, almost in a way. It's about control, right?
For sure.
We're talking about control.
For sure.
So they're just variations. But I'm just saying, like, we can agree to disagree that they both have almost equal value at that time. Like now, almost to your point.
Equally powerful. I will definitely agree with you on that. For sure. Equally powerful.
So my original statement made sense. It's like books is what I said.
Yes.
Let's move on to video games. I don't think I have anything else in housekeeping. Do you?
Yeah, I got some stuff here. Let me give you some stuff here. I got some quick stuff. Egg report. Buck. I think I'm going to do that every time now.
Really? Okay.
Maybe. I'm going to try it out and we'll see. If I get a lot of hate mail, then I'll stop. But I think I'm going to try it now.
Okay.
Once again, egg report. Buck. I kind of like that. It feels good to say that.
Okay.
3 eggs this morning, but we got 9 yesterday at the end of the day. It was like nothing all day long, and then we got 9 at the end. So now we have so many fucking eggs, dude. We can't even eat this many eggs. I got to give some more away to the neighbors. So.
Well, you have 12.
We had no. That was 9 in the day before that. I mean, we got like 8 before that, and then we got like 8 or 7. So we're getting about 8 or 9 a day. So we don't need. I mean, I like eggs, bro. I mean, I can eat some eggs, but like I don't eat 9 eggs a day. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I need some eggs. You need to get them to me.
Should drop some off at your place, dude.
Oh my goodness, I would take them.
I'll have to drop some off. We'll do a road trip out there. I'll drop them off. We'll do a no contact drop off. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So heads up. Broken Lines is one of the games that I really like this year. I haven't finished it. I had to put it on pause to take care of some other stuff, but I am chipping away at it slowly. Like I'm doing a level here and a level there. It's the one where it's like a alternate reality sort of World War II-ish sort of thing, where these commandos they get shot down behind enemy lines and they need to regroup and they need to escape, but there's also some nefarious shit going down. Not just war stuff, but like weird, gross, like monster stuff. And, you know, you don't know exactly what's going on. A lot of choices, a lot of like how you behave with each other, a lot of how you behave with the NPCs really makes a difference in the story. You can lose people. There's permadeath and stuff. So it's very tense. I really like Broken Lines a lot. And I feel like literally no one is playing that game. And I feel like people really should play that. They have just put out a DLC. It came out, I think, last week. It's called The Dead and the Drunk. It's a new extra campaign that focuses on zombies. So if you want that, it's free. If you own the game, it's just a free download. Just update your game and it'll be right there. You have some more missions to go through that. But also buy the game, number one, and number two, play the game, because I feel like literally no one on earth even knows this game exists, which is a real shame. I'm going to be honest, it's not the best looking game. Graphics are pretty rough, but like in terms of ideas, structure, and content, I think it's pretty fucking cool. I think a lot of people out there would like it. So
yeah, I mean, I think when you told me about it, I was going to pick it up and I didn't. So you're like reminding me. It's $5 on freaking Steam.
Oh my god,
so what $5?
Holy shit! Yes, if you play on Steam, that is if you like turn-based strategy, anything kind of XCOM-ish, anything like that, like squad tactics, just give it a shot, man. It's totally worth $5. Skip that Frappuccino that you were going to get later today. Just skip it. Get yourself a chocolate milk at home. Or just have a Coke or something.
By the way, those aren't the same, but continue.
They're not the same. They're absolutely not the same. But like, dude, get that $5 into the pockets of these Broken Lines people instead. It's absolutely worth your time. I guarantee it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, thank you.
So check that out.
Check that out for sure. Next thing, there was a game that was up on Kickstarter called The Foretold Westmark Legacy. This is a Lovecraftian deck builder with some RPG elements and some really cool art. I was very excited for this. I kickstarted it like immediately, but they got about, I think, if memory serves, they got about halfway through and they decided they weren't going to make it, so they killed it. But they are going to still bring the game to Steam and hopefully other platforms. Just wanted to give a heads up to people. They're looking for people to wishlist it now to kind of bump them up in the visibility. So please go over to Steam. Wishlist The Foretold Westmark Legacy. I need these people to be successful because I really, really want to play this game and I want this to happen. So I'm doing whatever I can to send some positivity their way. A couple extra bucks, wishlist clicks, like whatever. Please check it out on Steam, The Foretold Westmark Legacy, because I want to play this and I think that you probably want to play this too. It looks really nice.
Check it out. Make sure you check it out so it can happen and you can check it out.
Yeah, so you can check it out again in the future. Quick shout out to a game I found on Xbox. It was like $1.99. It's called Island Farmer. I was looking I've been kind of like you were last week where you like nothing was sticking with you and you're kind of bouncing from game to game. That's kind of how I have been since I finished Dredge, which we will talk about at the end of this episode. Since I finished Dredge, I have not clicked with anything. I've just been, this is okay, but it's not sticking. This is all right. I don't like this. Like bouncing from game to game to game to game to game. And so I tried Island Farmer just to see, and it ended up being kind of a little treat. It is a very simple puzzle game. The best way to describe it is like a 3D jigsaw puzzle where they show you a picture of an island that also has a farm on it. That's where they get the name Island Farmer. Pretty straightforward. They tell it to you right away. But they show you a picture. They're like, okay, here's the island. It's all made of blocks. Here's a tree. Here's a house. Here's some beach, whatever. And then they take the picture away and they give you a jumbled up island and you got to move the squares around. And there's no trick to it or anything. They're just like, just move the pieces around. You can swap any two pieces that you want. It doesn't have to be side by side. It's not one of those sliding block puzzles that everybody hates, right? It's not one of those. It's just like you pick a piece over here, you pick a piece over here, you switch them. And if it works, you get a little glow telling you that it's in the right place and it locks in so you can't accidentally mess it up. But that's all it is. It's just like a jigsaw puzzle where you're just like, okay, I remember the picture. I'm moving pieces. I'm just really calmly and peacefully moving pieces around. And it's, if you like doing a real life jigsaw puzzle, that really is what this feels like a lot. And, you'll get to that part where you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm just going to randomly put pieces in just like you do with a jigsaw puzzle. You see something that's got like a knob and a hole and a weird corner. You try that one doesn't work. You try another one, that one doesn't work. You try another one. Oh, got it. Hooray. Like it's that same jigsaw puzzle feeling. So if you want a pretty neat, easygoing, super cheap digital jigsaw puzzle, I think Island Farmer is pretty neat. That's really all I have to say about it. So kind of like, I guess, a micro review right there, but it's worth $2. Absolutely.
Yeah. Back of the box. It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat, and it's worth $2. There you go, for sure.
If I see that puzzle, by the way, when you're just describing it, I would just like jam the pieces in. Just make it work.
Just make it work for you.
Yeah.
You have a little hammer right beside you just to make it fit, help it along.
It's abstract. That's what I call it.
Carlos's reinterpretation, yes. Final thing in housekeeping today is just a shout out to Death Stranding. Boy, have we talked about Death Stranding in a while? Have we not? Have we?
We just talked about like the last episode I was on.
Because my wife is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a shout out, man. My wife is still playing this. I'm really glad that I turned her on to it because I knew that if I could get her past the initial bullshit that she would like it, because I know my wife's taste pretty well. And, you know, like watching her start it, it was just like this like clown car of like Kojima isms happening, like these like mega long cutscenes and stuff not explained, and like system upon system, and every button does 9 things, and then you get her out in the field, and then all of a sudden the ghostly BTs are like coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh man, this is shit. Like this is a really bad beginning, but I knew that if I could get her past the hump, she would really like it, and I got her past it. And then I knew it. Like she clicked, and she has been having a great time rebuilding roads and delivering boxes. And I'm watching her play this, and I'm like, God, this is the fucking best game, dude. Like, I'm so glad that I played this, and it is actually one of my favorite games of all time, because especially now, just watching this where you're in a beautiful landscape. There's nice music playing, like you're walking. The vast majority of the time, nothing's happening except for you're delivering boxes. And when you get there, the people are really glad to see you. They're like, holy shit, Sam. Thank you for bringing this box. I needed this extra scarf. I needed this high performance underwear. I needed this hot pizza. You know, like they're glad. You're doing good things. You're reconnecting the country. You're helping people. And like, and even when you get into the combat, it's so like low key, dude. Like, cause you get really good guns right away. You can neutralize the bad guys. You can zap the ghosts. It's not even like a thing. It's not even a problem, right? You keep on driving your truck. You keep on delivering those boxes. And there's just something so fucking zen about that. And even me watching her as she's just playing on the couch and I'm sitting next to her, I'm like, God, it's like so fucking chill to watch this game. I love this game. It's like so good.
It's so chill, but when you said it, I got all these memories because you and I both played the shit out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
I did a whole episode, I think, on it.
We did.
You know, when you lose your bike, especially early on,
yes,
or like you lose something to those monsters, it's not cool. Like it isn't. Like I'm like, oh, fuck this game.
Yeah, that beginning is rough, dude. It is. Yeah, it is.
Then later on, there is some parts that are enemies. I remember being really mad about a couple enemy sections, but in general, you're right. It's relaxing. I like those kind of games. I'll be talking about one today on the show. That is where you just kind of go to a place and do things that it's about positivity.
Yeah.
But the only other thing is that it reminded me of that terrible moment where I went across the country, you know, however far I went.
Yeah.
For a delivery. Got right in front of the doorstep of the place with my hot pizza.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, the objects are kind of corny.
Sure, yes.
That pizza is not hot anymore. It's definitely cold. And I tripped, and it ruined the pizza.
You dropped it?
Yeah. I mean, it was like an hour, dude, or something crazy. And I tripped right in front of the door just because there's tripping in that game.
Oh, my God.
And
Did you get a video of that, by the way?
No, I don't, and I should.
Dude.
That would be cool.
I would love to watch
that.
That
would go viral. But that made me not like the game for a while because I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again. So.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but that is
it's hilarious.
That
you
is
can
really
laugh.
hilarious. Yes,
but I'm saying like it's equal parts that like it's weird, cool, different, positive, like you said, and at times it's just like frustrating too for me.
I mean, there's definitely some frustrating parts, but I got to tell you, dude, like I restarted Death Stranding after I beat it, and I got about maybe like a third of the way, and then I had to do review shit or whatever, but. Watching my wife play it again, I'm like, God, I want to play this game. I want to play this game again.
Don't go back.
I feel like I'm going to restart it because I really want to be delivering boxes again. It's so fun.
Whatever, do
something it. Something about it. But they did announce Death Stranding 2. Who knows? Is it going to be another 10 years in development? Is it going to be 2 years? Who knows? But man, I'm excited. Hopefully they don't go whack with it, right? Like Kojima's kind of out of control right now, and hopefully he can just kind of maintain. Because I'm afraid he's going to go way too far off the deep end and he's going to lose that magic. But we'll see.
No. Okay, so I know. I've been doing this for a while, just like you. That game is going to be Death Stranding 2, like, for real. Like, it's just going to be Death Stranding again.
More Death Stranding
This is my, hot take, asterisk, put it next to the, when it comes out. It's going to be more Death Stranding. And it's going to be more crazy above the top or over the top cutscenes. But it's going to be that gameplay with, like, added stuff, I bet. I don't think it's going to be anything different.
I mean, that I would be 100% on board with that. I could deliver boxes for another 100 hours. I'd be a happy man.
They're going to do that. They're going to make different things, but it's going to be that, I bet.
Yeah. I will say one other side note. As I'm watching my wife go through the story, she's always like, "Oh, is this gonna amount to something?" Every time I cut, I'm like, "Nah, he doesn't come back to that." She's like, "What? What about this?" Nah, he drops that. What? Like it's when you go back and just look at the script like objectively, when you see how many threads he starts and absolutely doesn't finish, it is mind-blowing how much stuff he doesn't finish. And the biggest thing of all is BB, right? Like you've got that baby strapped to your chest. It was like the iconic image from that game. And they do, to be fair, they do circle back around to that at the very end of the game, right? But like all the way through, she's like, am I going to talk to the baby some more? Is the baby going to, I'm like, nope, nothing happens. When are we going to, like she keeps waiting for the baby to be incorporated, which is absolutely what I think everyone expected when they first went through the game. And I keep disappointing her, being like, nah, they ignore it the entire time. Don't worry about it. They're not going to talk about it. Nope, that cutscene, ignore that because it doesn't mean anything. And it's crazy to me to see how they had this perfect dynamic of Sam and the baby. That could have been the whole game right there, of just developing the baby, the relationship back and forth. It's really weird looking. It's iconic. It's strange. And they don't do anything with it at all. Like for 50 hours, it's so whack that they don't do anything from a storytelling perspective. Absolutely bonkers.
You know what it could have been? It could have been that thing you did in school where you had to like wear like eggs on your.
Yes, you take care of the egg for your project. You don't crack the egg. Totally.
Or like a bag of. They would do other things like a bag of flour and stuff. But it was just like a thing. Like that's all that baby is really.
Yeah, they could have done that. They could have done more dialogue. It could have been BB does different things based on if she likes you more, or there's like a million things, or even just the dialogue. There could have been more cutscenes of, hey, how's it going, baby? Let's check in real quick. And it's nuts that they don't do anything. What's up, baby? They don't do anything with it. It drives me crazy.
What's
that
up,
they didn't
baby?
Do anything. What's
is a good podcast name.
What's up, BB? Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, but I know I've gone on record saying I despise the BB, but yeah,
I know you did, but man,
can't. I don't want it. Don't want to deal with it, and I don't like that part of the game. But anyway, check out Death Stranding. That's our take.
A little small indie game you probably never heard of. Okay, that's all the housekeeping I got. Anything last from you, Carlos? Any last bits?
No, I'm sweeping up. Let's get out of here.
Sweeping up. Moving on to the main content of the show. We're here, episode 329. Carlos, you're kicking it off with a surprise game, as you like to do. I don't know what this is. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. What is your surprise game, sir?
In my search for a game to make myself feel good and reconnect with games, I was looking for, obviously, an RPG-ish type thing. Popped up on the store, which I think it's on Xbox as well. Maybe not. We can check. It's on Steam, and it was on PlayStation. It's a game that came out in 2001 originally.
Whoa.
Yep. And it was not fully remastered. It's like 60 frames now, but it's pretty much the same graphics, maybe a little bit better. But it's more about like they were like, hey, this game is this crazy old school RPG kind of thing, third person action
suspense
RPG.
Is killing me here, man. Come on.
I know. Hold on. Let me build it.
I can't take no more suspense.
That's why you build it. So I'm building. So anyways, it's a dark fantasy world, third person, hack and slash kind of RPG. No real leveling up, just kind of like hack and slash, find the better weapons, keep moving. Short levels. And I was like, okay, I'm in. That's really interesting. So I picked it up. It's called Blade of Darkness.
Blade of Darkness?
You've never heard of it.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up.
So it came out in 2001 for the computers, Microsoft Windows or whatever. And then this is the remaster of it. Again.
Wait a minute. Is this the one that the PR people were trying to say, well, this was actually Souls before Souls was Souls? Is this the one?
I don't know what PR people say.
I think that's this one, yes.
But what I was going to say, which now you've ruined.
Oh, no. Did I steal your thunder?
Well, because that was my original thing. I had no idea about this at all. Randomly found it. I started playing it.
Yes.
It's from 2001. I was like, oh, this is a Souls game before Souls games. But then, that's why I brought this to the show, because we're going to go look at Wikipedia real quick and see it FromSoft is catalog. So it is before their first Souls game. So that they're not wrong there. Demon Souls was 2009, I believe. 2008 or 2009. I'm double checking. Demon Souls 2009. So this is 8 years before a Souls game. So those
a
PR
proper
people,
Souls game, yeah,
those PR people are correct in that statement. And when I was playing it, I was like, "Oh, this is Souls before Souls." That's what I just thought in my head, and that's what it is. But the thing is, there's two differences. One, you can pick 4 or 5 different people in the beginning. Mage or whatever, knight, barbarian. Of course, I went right to barbarian. But each one is its own little level. So basically, like mini stories. Right.
Oh, so you don't pick one character and go through the campaign. You have 4 characters with their own
campaign. Yeah, and it's in their own starting position, own place. Obviously, limited graphics, limited assets. It's not like wildly different, but that was such a cool idea to me. Like, I don't know if I've played a game like that. I I want to say ever. I don't know. It's weird.
There's some like Dragon Age. The first Dragon Age kind of did that, sorta.
No, but this is different because I just
Different
played
now?
it. It's like you finish that story. You like, I'm the knight and I do this thing and it goes through the whole thing and I get the perspective of that knight, you know? And beat a boss and that's it. And even the bosses are different. Like I played the Barbarian, which was kind of a mistake because it's actually one of the longer ones to start with. You're supposed to kind of just probably pick the knight first because it's like a shorter mission, which I think is a cool idea as well. Like you know, you get the idea of the mechanics, you get the idea of the Souls-like gameplay before Souls, and then you know see that it's difficult and that it's not about leveling, and you know it's about like finding the best weapons, going to the hidden places and finding extra things you need, and then being smart about how you traverse the landscape. It's a little clunky, obviously. It's from 2001, so the controls are still a little clunky, but they have things like you know, even like this 2001, like dismemberment. So like I just started with one of my first foes were some monsters, and I just cut their heads off. Not every time, you know, like you still just damage them normally. But I did this certain swing because you swing differently. So like you push left and attack, and it's a different swing. Right and attack is a different swing. Also, I don't know many games that do that in this setting. And like up and down are also different swings. So one of my like crazy swings like cut off their heads, and then they like slowly dropped to the ground and fell. And I was like, damn, that's even good for nowadays. So I like just the physics of it a little bit. I like the difference of how you swing your weapons. And it did feel like Souls because it was like, oh, I've got to think about each encounter. Not necessarily like Souls and where like every skeleton could kill you. They could, but there are like easy monsters too. You know,
is there like stamina and stuff? So like when you say like Souls, I guess we should clarify that a little bit. So like I haven't played this game. I have seen this, and we did have somebody at Game Critics review this when it hit PC, I think last year. So what do you mean like specifically? Like I hear you saying like the weapon attacks are kind of different based on which way you swing and stuff, but like what other elements are kind of Souls like here, just for people who are listening?
Well, what's not Souls like, because just to put that out there, is like this is not an RPG in that way, right? You're not leveling and making your character better. You're just finding better weapons. You are getting, I think there's a couple upgrades now that I'm remembering with some abilities, but they're, again, all within that level. Like you're trying to beat the game in these little mini games, right? So it's like, it's a little different in the leveling. And then the similarities are that, yeah, it's easy to die, but if you're smart about it and the enemies aren't all difficult, like there's some that are just easy to kill, like in one shot. Right. I think that's the difference, right? So Souls, I feel like even a skeleton could have like a crazy damage meter.
Yeah.
This is like, oh no, there's that monster you can kill in one shot. Just don't be cocky, you know? So I think that similarity of don't be cocky, know what you're doing, you know, watch around the corners and stuff like that. That's kind of there, which also, again, predates Souls. Now, we're going to make this kind of a dual review. Kingsfield would be what people probably want to bring up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
From FromSoft, that was before, way before. Like FromSoft did Kingsfield in 1994. So
the first Japanese one or the first American one?
The PlayStation one was 94. And I played it. I'm pretty sure I played it.
Yeah, they did one even before that never came out. So we got Kingsfield 2. They called it Kingsfield 1 here, but there was even a Kingsfield before that.
Okay, then we got Kingsfield 2, though, which is weird.
Yeah, we did, which was actually a different Kingsfield. So they staggered the numbers because we never got the original one.
I'm bringing this up, making kind of a dual review and just kind of a fun history thing. That's why I played it as well.
I love history.
Kingsfield was first person.
Yes.
This is third person. So yeah, by all accounts, this is one of the first, like, if you want to call them Souls-like games before they were even that. It was one of those types of games, and it was a pleasant find. Very interested in the like history of games as well. So I think for anybody just want to see like what early difficult RPG type games were like, it's a cool play. I mean, it's pretty cheap. I don't know how much it is right now. Check on Steam, and it's like $15. I think it was like $12 on sale on the PlayStation.
All right.
It's a cool history lesson to play, but also pretty damn fun. And a few things they're doing in the game I still don't see other games doing. Like the swinging of different directions, right? We're not really doing that in RPGs much.
No, you don't see that very often. I mean, there's been a couple, but it's pretty rare. Once in a while, yeah.
And it made me feel like I could attack it in a different, way. And then if I did it the certain way, like I beheaded someone or I cut people in half, and I was like, damn. So fun ass game. It's like really a really interesting find. And what I was going to say earlier, like not all the bosses are the same because you're in different scenarios with different characters. One of my last bosses was like a room that just like locked on me for the barbarian. That was it. And like,
no, wait.
Wait.
You got to pause. That's fucking amazing. Because it just suggests to me that your barbarian is kind of like slow and dense. Maybe he's got a lot of muscles, not too much up top.
Nice.
Gets inside a locked room and he's like, "Bah, lock door.
Can't do it.
You
How do
bar
I
my
get
way.
out?" He's
I am
the Hulk all of a
defeated."
sudden.
That is fucking
Okay.
awesome, dude.
So
love
I
that.
didn't finish my statement. Let's go with that as the answer.
That is so
because that's
funny.
funnier.
Oh
But
my
the
God.
room locks and then skeletons come in the room. And then you have to
I
kill
think
the
just the locked
skeletons.
door is pretty good.
Okay, but that's not real.
I know. You should make a clip of that, like make a video of that. That would be fucking balls funny, dude.
Bro, back to your beginning. If I did a deep fake of that and it's just the room, people would just believe that that's the room.
They would. It would
and they
totally fool
would.
everybody. They would.
But it is funny because, like, back to that point of like bosses not being, the same. It's like that was for him. That was his
Which is pretty
scenario.
cool. I like that
I
concept.
love that.
For sure.
So there's so many cool concepts here I would like to see in new games. I think that's another reason I played it. So yeah, check it out. And also to go back to FromSoft, what all those PR people are saying, they're not wrong. Kingsfield was a totally different. It was like a dungeon crawler game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that wasn't this style of game. So, I think they're right. But Evergrace and Eternal Ring were games I always saw in the store and I never bought. I didn't know they were from Soft.
And why would you? The FromSoft wasn't really anybody that anybody knew back then. So
Right, that's true. But so now, do we go back and play them?
I mean, I have played them. So I've played. I think I've played literally every FromSoft game. I don't know that you would want to go back and play them because they're kind of Eternal Ring is kind of a play off of Kingsfield. It's like a first person. And I think that the thing that, just to be clear about it, I think the thing that the Souls-like connection between Kingsfield and Souls is that there was like stamina-based swordplay, there were interconnected levels, and there was a really steep difficulty curve. So if you took Dark Souls and made it first person, like you would get a very, very close approximation of what Kingsfield is. They just pulled the camera back and then, did a little bit more work, and then that kind of became Souls. So that's kind of, I think, what people refer to when they say that Kingsfield was the progenitor of Souls, which I think is correct. I don't know how Blade of Darkness fits into that. It's also called Severance, I believe. I think it's got two different titles. So, I mean, I'd be interested to check it out just to see like what their concepts were. But do you know if these developers like did anything with it, or did they have a sequel, or did they keep exploring this kind of territory? I'd be curious as what else they have done since then.
Oh, that's a good call. Published by Codemasters, Rebel Act Studios. I think we can look that up with the internet. Rebel Act Studios. Rebel Act.
Rebel Act. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Severance, Blade of Darkness. So I guess I was just saying Blade of... I guess it's...
No, it depends on which country you
Remastered.
bought it in. Yeah, they kind of changed the title a couple times.
Games, publication, reception, development. Oh, wait, they're just talking about Severance. I want to talk about their many
But
games.
the studio, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we should have done this beforehand because this is really exciting podcasting.
No, it's real time.
Real time.
Rebel
podcasting.
Act Studios on Giant Bomb. Here we go. Yeah, I think they made just that game.
And didn't do anything with it, huh? Interesting.
Well, they did something with it. They published it. They put it out, and people bought it.
Right. But I mean, they didn't, Rebel Act Part 2 or, the Severance
Right,
Part 2
yeah,
or anything.
continue.
They didn't develop anything
They're
further that.
they're in Spain, Spanish
interesting.
developers. So, anyways, let's. I just want people to check it out. Again, history
Yeah,
lessons.
yeah.
I just looked up video real quick while we were talking of Evergrace, and it is third person. So
Yeah, Evergrace is, yeah.
And why I say like, should I go back and play games? This is actually a good tangent. I think more people should, not because it's going to be better, because they're different dynamics. There's early game development. It's obviously lots of times could be worse and like clunky and hard to play. But I think for the history of games and understanding where games come from, it's just like reading old books or watching old movies. Like,
Yeah.
you can't tell people like, don't watch old black and white films. It's nowadays it's better, So
I agree with you 100%, dude.
Yeah.
I am absolutely yes-anding. I think that is a key part that we are missing in the medium of video games, right? Because there's book studies, literature studies, English literature, Greek literature, whatever. There's film studies, there's music studies. You can take a class on jazz, you can take a class on classical. And they talk about like who were the big names, what did they do, what were the things they brought to the genre, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do we even have anything like that? I know there's some like basic game studies, but not in the same way of like, oh, like you're just talking about here. You were talking about Souls a second ago. Oh, well, let's look at Blade of Darkness. What did they do? Did this somehow influence FromSoft? Maybe it did. Let's look at, Eternal Ring, and let's look at Kingsfield or whatever. Like what are what's the arc of development that these developers took? And then you kind of learn to see where they're at. I was actually literally just talking about this very specific thing with somebody yesterday. And, we were talking about, where was it? It was talking about like Nier or whatever, right? So they were saying they had played the newest Nier, and I'm like, oh, well, I played the other ones. And we were kind of discussing how you could see the trajectory of how the development had gone and like why the choices they had made. If you go back, and not a lot of people go back. I mean, number one, it's sometimes difficult to find older games because...
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, like you can't just pick up a book or watch a movie. You have to like find compatible hardware, and did somebody license it? Which version are you getting? Can you find a copy of it? Blah, 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 blah. So it's hard to do the research, but I think that's really something lacking in the field of games. We're losing so much history, and we don't know where we came from. And we kind of keep doing the same things over and over when we need to be building on what we've done and move forwards. But it's so hard because it's hard to access that stuff. And also, we have no one to even kind of curate which games are really worth looking at. But I do that myself. I mean, like when I find a new developer, as a ironic that you say this, Carlos, because I am literally going to talk about this exact thing in 2 games, 3 games from now, 4 games from now. Today, on today's show, we didn't even plan this. Didn't plan this at all, and yet we're going to be talking about this exact thing. So maybe put a pin in this. We will absolutely talk more about this. I guarantee you.
Put a pin in it. And also, and I'm glad I brought it up, Kelsey Lewin works with, game history as well.
Yeah. With Frank Cifaldi, yeah.
Yep. And then we have the National Video Game Museum. We have people who are trying to work on that stuff. We need more of it. But to your point about like just being able to play the game, now I want to play Evergrace because I'm looking it up, and I just saw a Reddit post about someone who just beat it, after trying it like 20 years ago or something, and said it's an amazing FromSoft game, and like having this great experience with it. But yeah, how do I play it? Because it's a fucking
where do you go?
PS1 game or PS2 game, and so it's like that's tricky. And we never did a good job of like putting early games online for everybody to play. Although PlayStation is doing some stuff, Xbox is doing some stuff with back compat. So I will actually look later because PlayStation just added a ton, so maybe it's on there. But
yeah.
Anywho, we'll talk about it later. But there's my Blade of Darkness FromSoft discussion.
Right on. That's very, very interesting. I bet a lot of people listening to the show will be very intrigued by seeing what this game brings, and seeing if it plays any role in the legacy of this genre. Pretty good call there, my friend.
It plays, yeah. I'm saying it does play a role because I just played it.
Yeah,
especially the barbarian place where he gets the room and he
stuck
can't
in
get
the
out.
locked door.
Yeah.
I love the locked door boss. That's amazing. Okay, moving on. Okay, so first, I had a theme. I started out thinking about this show with a theme. But then I got a couple other games that popped up, and I'm like, well, that fucks my theme, but I guess I should probably talk about these games anyway. So this one that I'm about to talk about has nothing to do with my theme, and I'll get to my theme next. This is just a random game that somebody mentioned, and I felt like I should probably talk about it. It's Elechead, Elechead. Do you know this one?
I don't, and I'm looking it up now.
So Sanatan Mishra, who is a developer, I've known them online for a while. They are a developer at Witchbeam. They made Assault Android Cactus, which is a cool little shooter, which I really thought was pretty fun, very cute. They also published Unpacking, which was the indie hit, I think, last year, 2 years ago, whatever, about just like putting things away when you unpack them in a box. You remember that? You played that, didn't you?
Yeah, I played that.
Yeah. So he came back from GDC and he's like, yo, everybody in the world needs to play Elechead. I'm going to shill this thing forever. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. Like I remember seeing this come out a couple of years ago. And full disclosure, I did contact PR and said, hey, I would love to cover this. Never heard back. They didn't send us a code. They didn't even respond to my email. So I ended up forgetting about it because I get 50 or 100 emails a day. And if nobody responds back, I don't have the time to circle back. I usually fire off one email, and if that connects, great. And if it doesn't connect, then I just move on with my life. Right. So I forgot about it. But he is someone I respect, and he's like, yo, you should check this out. So I checked it out. It's like $8 on Xbox. It's probably on Switch. It's probably on PlayStation. I know for a fact it's on PC. It's probably on itch, I believe. So what is this? It is a 2D platforming game. It is very simple and straightforward. The premise is that, so there's no word, there's no talking, no dialogue, no story, no text, nothing. It's just visuals. And so you play a little robot. Your robot is full of electricity in his head. His head, as the title tells you right there, Elechead, all the electricity is in his head. Anything you touch gets electrified, and the whole world is made of metal. So what this means is, as you go through, again, 2D, very Mega Man-like in terms of design and stuff, there will be a platform that you need to reach. You cannot reach the platform because it's too high. But if you touch the wall that the platform is touching, electricity runs from you up through the wall to the platform, and it powers the platform, and the platform will come back down. Or sometimes there will be like a room full of spikes, but nothing's happening. But as soon as you put your foot on the floor, you electrify the floor. The electricity goes into the floor to the spikes, and then all of a sudden it's dangerous. And so you have to figure out, oh, where's a safe place to step? Or do I have to time my jumps or something like that? So it's a pretty cool premise. Pretty soon afterwards, and full disclosure, I've not finished this yet. I'm about halfway through it right now. Probably a quick play. I'm guessing maybe 2-3 hours. The other thing you get is you get the ability to throw your head. And so since your head has all the electricity and your body doesn't, sometimes you need to, like, for example, throw your head up in the air, and then the electricity goes with the head. It's not touching anything. The room becomes safe. You run through with your body because nothing's happening. And then you catch your head when you're, past the danger zone. Or sometimes there's a platform above you. You throw your head up onto it, and then it electrifies a platform to bring it down, and you get your body up on top of it. So it's pretty clever. It's a very simple premise. I don't know if there's more tricks to it later, maybe so. But this is a perfect game where the developer had an idea of robot is electrical, and they are going through like every single possible permutation of what can I possibly do with this. I can throw the head. I can make them put the head down. I can duck below the head. I can run without the head. I can do, like every possible idea you could possibly have with this thing, they're going through. And it ends up being a little bit of a platformer, but also a lot like a puzzle game where you'll get into a room where you're like, Jesus, how am I supposed to get past this? I don't figure it out. Like, what's happening? And it takes you a while to kind of figure out, like, what do I need to touch, or what should I do with my head, or what's happening? And then you finally figure it out, and you're like, oh, okay, got it. That was super clever. Or like me, you'll get to a couple rooms and be like, dude, I can't figure this out. Walk through. And then you feel dumb afterwards because you're like, oh, I should have figured that out. That was very obvious. In hindsight, but it's really great. I think it's really cool. It's super clever. I love that they're doing so much with so little. I love the very thorough exploration of this concept. And I feel like it's really cool. Like, you see the iterations of the puzzles and the way that you manipulate the environment and stuff. Really, really good. I think it is really good. I think Sanatan was correct to be cheerleading this so hard, and I definitely think it needs more people. Also, it would help if they answered the PR emails, so please do that in the future, folks. That would probably help get people to get some eyeballs on your game. Just saying. But yeah, $8 on Xbox. I think it's 100% worth it. I think it's very cool and original and fresh, and I think a lot of people would dig this one.
Check it out. I just checked out the graphics, and yeah, super simple. And my favorite part is seeing the body run around without the head.
It's pretty fun.
That is adorable. Yeah, but yeah, it's like a mechanics game. It's
absolutely, 100% a mechanics game for sure. Exactly. All right, that was Elechead. Okay, so now I'm going to start my theme, right? So this show's theme is going to be cosmic horror under the sea. That was my theme. I like cosmic horror, Lovecraft stuff. I'm 50-50 on underwater stuff. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I'm not like, an oceanologist or anything like that. But I think that you'll see the thread. You'll see the thread here. So the first game I'm going to bring up is one I've talked about before, Elder Sign Omens. We've talked about this before. This came out, I want to say maybe 10 years ago. It is an adaptation of a board game, but it is based on the Lovecraft mythos, the Elder Sign and Lovecraft and Elder Gods and all sorts of stuff. But it's like a board game adapted to, electronic status. I first played this on my very first iPhone back in the day, and I loved it. This game kept me up for many, many late nights until I finally defeated Cthulhu, and then I moved on to some of the DLC. I never finished the DLC, which I come to find out is ranked as crazy hard by the developers. It is the hardest level. So I didn't finish the hardest level, but I did everything else. And I want to just come back to it. I think it's really great. You can get it on Steam. I think it's the only place to play it right now. I don't think it's compatible with modern phones. But basically, you see a board. It looks like a top-down picture of a museum. And there's little rooms. So just picture like a board game, like an actual board game. You have 4 investigators. You can choose from a panel of investigators. They all have different abilities. Some are tougher mentally. Some are tougher physically. Some have some sleight of hand tricks they can do. Some can see the future, etc., etc., etc. You pick 4 out of this pool, and then you go into this board. Now, I will say, I haven't played this in a long time. I just thought of it recently, remembered it recently, and I picked it up on Steam. But I remember loving it back in the day. When I came back to it now, boy, that tutorial is garbage. It's terrible. I don't know the real board game. I have not played it. I bought it, and I have it, but I've never played it because I just don't play board games. But I do buy them, apparently.
I know. I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, I buy many board games, and I never play them. I guess I just like the boxes. I'm stupid. I should save my money on other things. Anyway, so you start playing the game, and boy, they don't explain, like, anything. And I'm like, wow, was the tutorial always this bad? How did I even play this before? How did I learn this game? I don't remember what happened. I must have looked it up or something, because they don't explain shit, which is a real big problem, because it is not very intuitive unless you are familiar with the board game. So I will say that is a problem. You can find tutorials online, which really explain a lot of stuff, specifically for this version. And I think that's good. So definitely do that. But once you get into it, I think it's really cool because they incorporate like dice roll mechanics, and they have a lot of like just real mechanic heavy things where you'll meet a monster, and instead of fighting, you'd have to roll dice, and it'll be like this monster takes, and it's not regular dice. It's like dice with pictures. It'll be like, it takes 1 scroll and 1 tentacle and 1 elder sign. And if you roll those, then you can defeat the monster. And if you don't, then you take a penalty and you like try to roll again. So it's kind of like those kind of mechanics where if you like dice roll and like luck, you can do that. But also there are things that can tilt your luck. Like some people have more favorable rolls a certain way. You can save some dice in case you roll like maybe half of what you need, but you didn't get the whole thing. You can put some of those, put a pin in those and save those for the next roll. And there's little items you can get that like boost your roll. So you can do things to like tilt favor your way. It's not all just straight up luck. But I think it's really cool. It's really fun, really focused on mechanics, really straightforward. It sucks that they don't teach you the mechanics, but once you understand what you're doing, I think it's really a well put together game. If you like Cthulhu or Lovecraft or something, I think this is a really good interpretation of that, where you still get the flavor. There's lots of different elder gods to fight. Using each individual mechanic is pretty cool. There's insanity mechanics, there's health mechanics, there's like research and lore and stuff in here, but it's all really just about the dice rolls, which is kind of a cool way to break it down and doing something different, because being someone who loves like Lovecraft and that cosmic horror stuff, too often people do first person shooter or first person horror and first person psychological, and I'm so tired of that, bro. Like you play 5 of those, and then after a while they all seem exactly the same. Dark hallways, tentacles, going crazy. Like it's just, dude, there's not enough to differentiate them. So I'm really into people who want to take this content, the cosmic horror, and do something different with it. This is very different with it, and it's really outside the box. I still think it's worth a recommend though, and I feel like it holds up really well even despite the age and despite the poor tutorial. So Elder Sign Omens on PC. I'm not going to say it's an easy play. You're going to have to do a little work. But if you want to check something out that's not a first-person cosmic horror, this is definitely worth a look.
I was going to say, you said outside the box, but it's actually also inside the box.
It is inside the box.
A box game. Exactly. This reminds me, so my buddy Dan runs this show. It's still online, called Going Analog. And him and his wife and a bunch of guests review board games. Everybody should check that out, by the way. They're still going strong.
Check it out.
I actually helped them with one of their first videos when I was in SF. But anywho... yeah, he actually introduced me to all these like Arkham Horror and like these,
exactly,
creepy board games that I played a ton of when I was down there. And it is what you just described sounds like it. So it's like they're going for the market of people who liked, or they did, because it's in 2011 it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Going for the market of people who already either know the game or just like know board games of that type. Because as soon as you said dice with like pictures on it, that's like a ton of those games.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, that's really cool, and it reminds me of how fun that is. I really do like those involved board games. So
yeah, and the plus, the biggest plus of all, which I didn't really even mention, you can play by yourself. I don't have a team of board game players. We don't do board game night. It's really tough to find anybody, so you can play this completely solo. You don't need any other players. You can play it at your own pace. It's really cool that way. So I dig it.
Cool.
All right, there you go. Back over to you. I will continue my theme after you're done, but let's talk about Wolcen, the Lord of Mayhem.
We keep saying it wrong. It's Wolcen, like Wolcen, but you're saying Wilson.
Wolcen, he is the Lord of Mayhem. No.
Wolcen is also the Lord of Mayhem.
Yes,
that's just
Wolcen.
A funny side fact.
It is kind of funny. Wolcen, Lords of Mayhem. All right, tell us about it, sir.
Yeah, because there's many lords.
Listen,
I'm going to tell you right now, we just call it Wolcen because this story doesn't matter. All right, let's just call it
Real
the
talk.
truthful.
Doesn't matter.
Real talk. Yeah, I'm going to call the game Wolcen now from now on, I think. I just beat Wolcen, Brad.
He was tough guy. Put up
He was a tough guy, yeah. That's funny because I can't beat Brad. Is it Brad? No, is it Brad? Anyways,
the first boss. Yes,
the first boss in the game. Yes. We're going to talk about. Wait, is it funny. You? You're the first boss?
Yeah, it pings me when you get there, and then I jump on my console real quick, and I'm playing as him.
And you beat me every time, and that's foreshadowing for later.
People don't have no idea what we're talking about. I promise you it'll make sense in a few minutes.
So Wolcen the game, which is what it's called, but it's called something else. What is it? Wolcen, Lord of Darkness?
It's such a generic name. Lords of Mayhem, which could apply to like literally any game.
It's silly. Okay, so this came out a little while ago, but the reason I've been playing it is because, again, I was searching for RPGs. No surprise there. And an action RPG because Diablo beta wasn't available yet. I didn't get into the first one. So I wanted that type of game, which is this ARPG, I think they call them, right? The top-down, third-person, or third perspective, or whatever it's called. Anywho, you know what it is. It's a Diablo game.
Like the Diablo perspective, overhead, yeah.
And so I wanted to do that. And also I heard the console had a lot of bugs, but also it was like a port, and I was going to play it on my PS5, so maybe the load times would be okay. So the first thing that I'll mention, it's Diablo game. The story doesn't really matter because you're part of an army, but then all of a sudden you see that you have powers, which is like a ton of games. And then now you're kind of outcasted and you got to go do things. It gets very convoluted very quickly, but all the graphics are cool. I mean, like really cool graphics. It's interesting. You can be not too much of a customer character creator, but you can pick a couple things in the beginning. And then when you have your character, you're going out doing Diablo fun. Okay.
Diablo fun. I love that.
It's Diablo fun. There's a couple differences. One, that you can kind of, it's not really class system, so you can kind of pick up any weapon you want, and you can respec at any time. So it's like you can kind of just play this game exactly how you want it. Mm-hmm. And so you're not being like, oh, I picked the sorcerer or I picked the, whatever, rogue or something. No, it's just like you're a character. You're this character in the story who has these kind of hidden powers. And then you're just going to pick up weapons, try them out, and then go down a rabbit hole of stats and stuff that you want to upgrade. Mm-hmm. So I like that. That's different, right? Because I'm playing Diablo, which we'll talk about in a second. And that's still more, traditional, right? I'm the barbarian in Diablo.
Yes, exactly.
And in Wolcen, I'm the character, right? So that I'm just this character, guy or girl, and I'm picking what I want to use as the game plays. The other difference is because this weird thing happens at the beginning of the story, you see you have these powers, you can do that in the game. So it's kind of like in Diablo, there's an ultimate weapon move. So this is like you have L1 and R1 on the PlayStation, and you go into, it's not just a big move, you turn into a different thing, like a very giant, like archangel or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 20 feet tall. It's like sizably different than you. And what's funny is as you're in that art form, as you're in that form, if you beat all the monsters and then go into a cutscene, the voice of that character is different.
Oh, okay.
It's like, hello. And so sometimes it was really awkward because I was just like talking to a farmer and I'm like still this huge form. And I'm like, yes, I see you have goats there. Don't mind the voice. It's because I'm still this crazy character. And then it has like a cooldown, so it just sizzles back and then you turn back to normal. Anywho, that's a different thing than Diablo.
Absolutely.
And also the way you can play it, customize it your style. It's cool. I'm getting to a butt.
I was gonna say you're saying cool stuff, but I don't get that that sizzle that you usually get in your voice.
Here's the two butts. There's two butts to this one.
Two butts, double butt.
People who like butts, and you can't lie. Two. You got two of them right here.
Right.
The first one is the bugs are out of control.
Oh, no, really? Okay.
Like weird bugs that I've never seen before, and I've been playing games since they were created. I've never seen this bug. Check out this bug.
Okay.
And there has been patches, so some of them are fixed. This one, I think, is fixed now. When I first started it, because I got it, me, day one, hour one that it came out, I got it. So it just went to the store. I downloaded it. I went into the cutscenes, and every cutscene, all the characters, doesn't matter if it was a monster, NPC, doesn't matter, They were blurry. But they were blurry in a way I've never seen before in my life, which is they were fuzzy, and so they actually moved like it was like they were vibrating. And I've never seen that in my entire life in games. It's like they were all like ethereal. They just keep vibrating.
That's weird. Okay.
And it hurt my eyes. It like bothered me. And so I couldn't look at the cutscenes. I just skipped them.
All right.
And then there was other things like graphics were just like placeholder graphics sometimes. Like I fought these monsters or spiders or something, and instead they were just squares around them. And I was like, holy fuck, this is a not finished game. But it was because they ported it probably under duress and, long hours, and there's all these bugs. So they patched a bunch of them, but that was really unfortunate because it was like, it's not unplayable, but kind of. Even invisible enemies too. Like, whack, okay. Dude. So now that it's patched a bit, I'm still playing it, but the second but, and the biggest but of all, is that, I don't care at all. Like,
okay.
Like even in Diablo again, which I've alluded to now 7 times.
Yeah. And you love these games. You love Diablo.
I love these games. I just, even with that, and specifically with that, I will talk about that now. There's definitely more of a story that I care about, especially because they really spend some time on intensely high fidelity cutscenes in Diablo.
In Diablo 4.
And they get you like, well, even in Diablo 3, they get you invested in kind of in a way where you're like, well, that was an intense scene, But also, and we'll get to it, there's more story there. This one I just kept getting confused. It was like, now you're going to go talk to a mech. Wait, that mech was just a spirit mech. Okay, it was a spirit of a mech. I'm confused on that. Then we're going to go take out these tribe of people, but no, the tribe of people are going to be on our side, but now I'm taking another guy out. It's just so confusing. So in order for me to stick with anything, which we talk about in the show all the time, I have to have some sort of level of understanding of what the fuck's happening.
For sure.
And even though it's fun and Diablo-esque, I bounced on it for Diablo. It's like sometimes, well, I think you said this, don't go for the clone if the original is better or something.
Yeah, if you're not bringing anything fresh, why? If you're not going to do better than what the people do, then don't try it. There's no point. So
better is apt, but new they do.
Sure,
they do new. Man, these are just rolling off the tongue today.
Thanks. Yes, good one.
Biggest today, butt, 2 butts, do new do.
Jesus.
Take your pick for the show name.
Any of these, yes.
So yeah. Anyways, I had a bounce because I just got mixing with the bugs and mixing with like confusion. It's definitely some fun to be had. I will say that. But I finally jumped because I had another reason to jump to another thing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played this, but listening to you talk, it sounds like it's just. And correct me if I'm wrong. It just seems like one of those Diablo likes, and there are many of them, where if you've already done with Diablo and you play something, this is. It's that thing, but it's not better. It doesn't sound significantly different. I mean, a couple of different things, but overall, I mean, it didn't seem like it really hooked you. It didn't seem like it really brought anything that really lit your world on fire. You're just kind of playing it just to play it because you need something similar to play. Is kind of what
people still play Path of Exile. Still people play games that don't do necessarily things better.
Sure.
So I would say that again, wait a little bit longer to your point on some more patches. If you want to get it on a console. It's been out, by the way, on PC for a while. So this is not a new game. I probably should have started with that. But I still think it's good for what it does. And it's, to your point, it's like if you don't have something better and you want a Diablo game, that's what this does. Right. And that's what it did for me. A week and a half of me having something to play at night, and I was like, oh, this is it. I'm leveling up. I found loot. But now in the 12th time I'm going to talk about Diablo before talking about it. Now that I have that in my life and knowing that it's coming out soon, I just want to play that. So. And
did you find any difficulty in putting Wolcen aside once you knew that Diablo was coming?
Wolcen got put down immediately.
Yeah, that's what happens to games like this. Exactly. Yes.
Wolcen was put to the side, never to return. Well, maybe to return when I'm. Maybe not, because Diablo's going to take a lot of hours out of me. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was the not Diablo review of Wolcen Wolcen, and I still think that there's fun to be had.
And ironically, the very next game we're talking about is Diablo 4.
Oh, we're going right to me again. Okay,
We're
yeah.
going right to you again, Diablo 4.
Let's
the
just
beta,
do it. Yeah,
the
this is the
beta's
open
out.
beta. Yeah.
Yeah, it's available on all I mean, maybe not the Switch. I don't know about the Switch, but it's
Bar
definitely
the
available
Switch.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the Switch, but PS5, the Xbox is, and PC. You can get your Diablo 4 beta. I downloaded it on Xbox, although to be fair, I have not had time to play it, and the beta will be over by the time you're hearing this show. So I don't know that I will even start it up because I have pretty limited time today. But you've been putting a lot of time into it, and you were almost to level 20, which is the magical point at which you get a little cosmetic dog you can wear on your back. So tell us about Diablo and tell us about that pooch.
Well, I didn't know about the wolf cub until you told me about it. And I was just playing it anyhow. But then you're like, yeah, you get to level 20, you get this cosmetic thing that you can carry over because none of your gameplay carries over. I think more games should do that if they can. I think it's a technical probably limitation for this game because I know they're working up till the last second because it doesn't come out till June, I want to say. So we still got some time, and I bet you they're going to go back and fix a bunch of shit. So, or at least, fine tune some stuff. So that's why the game progress isn't saved. But yeah, you can get the Wolf Cub. I will get that tonight. I'm at level 15 as we stand. Levels go pretty fast in that game. So I'll get the Wolf Cub tonight. I'll probably max it out 2025 by tonight. I think it's over at midnight or something.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty soon.
But I'll talk about my understanding and enjoyment of it for now. And yeah, Diablo is a no-brainer, right? So we all have problems with the company, which is a tangent, but we won't do it. We won't do it.
We're not going to talk about that, but I do want to acknowledge that I haven't played the game. I probably will, Diablo, sure. But there is definitely some issues going on at Blizzard and behind Diablo. So we may talk about it in the future. I'm not going to talk about it now, but to acknowledge that this is not one of those guilt-free games that you can just pick up and play without a care. So.
Well, okay, yes, and we both are like, I don't think anybody in the world doesn't understand or acknowledge that Blizzard has issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, it's such a well-known thing now that it's like, it's already damaged their brand in that way. The specific developers who worked on this game.
Yeah, different story.
Different story. Anyway, so the people who worked on this game, it was Diablo 3. I played like 250 hours or more, maybe 300, probably 400 because I went back the second time.
Wow, that's like Monster Hunter hours, man.
It is. It's my Monster Hunter. Diablo is my Monster Hunter. And because, this is a quick tangent, we both have been playing games since games came out. I played every Diablo-like game before Diablo, which now I'm writing down. I want to go research that tonight. That's going to be fun. But I played games like Diablo before it came out. When Diablo 1 came out, people were like, whoa, cool. I'm like, no. I'm playing those games for a while on PC, There were games like it. They were just, doing another version of it, a very devil and like demon-y version, of what an RPG was doing in that time frame. So, but they did it really well, and it was really a point-and-clicky game. And then Diablo 2, I played all of them, is my point. But 3, when it came to console, just like a couple other, Baldur's Gate came to console and a couple other ones, they did it really well. Like the analog sticks, they nailed that feel of Diablo on console. And so 3 I played on, I want to say PS3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And a million hours. So no shit, I was going to play it. A couple issues people had with it. I wanted to, check out and see if that was really what was going on. But in general, the graphics are fucking bonkers. Like, I don't think people are talking about that enough. I have, a pretty nice TV. I put on the 120 hertz or whatever it is and, fancy 4K, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's still the same style, which looks like Diablo, but every little texture, like you're walking through the snow, you see a little puddle in the snow. It's fucking cool, dude. Like, it just is really beautiful. That can't be understated. And then also, it's a closer camera this time. So remember, Diablo's a little bit further back, pulled back.
Do you feel like it's better, or do you feel like it's too close now?
No, it isn't. As soon as I started, I was like, oh, is this too close? Am I going to go to the settings? I haven't touched them because, and I also don't know if you can change it, but it's perfect. It slightly zooms out a bit, here and there, but I really like it, and especially when you go into town where you can't do, battle.
Yeah.
You want to see everything really close because it's so beautiful what they painstakingly worked on. Every little sign, it doesn't feel like anything's cookie cutter. It just feels like when you go into a little town, it's like they made that little shed there and this thing here. And yeah, it's fucking cool, dude. Also, the customer character creator is like very expansive, beautiful. Now, it's not super expansive on the face options, but there's a lot that you can still do in it. And then when it comes to, I think they introduced a lot of this in 3. I think I told you before, but Diablo Immortal, a lot of the things that they brought up in that game is in 4. World tiers are in this, which I think we both don't really like too much, right? World tiering, where they
I hate world tiering,
Yeah.
dude. I dislike that. It doesn't, I mean, maybe some people are more built for that, but like the idea of world tiering to just get higher and higher loot and just replaying the same thing, I get that that's some people's jam. For me, I dislike that intensely.
Yeah, I dislike that intensely. And, that was, I think it was in Immortal, and some of the other stuff was in Immortal, is in this game. But I just put it on World Tier 1. This is the beta. I'm not going to save in my progress, so
Exactly, yeah.
it doesn't matter. Just get me to that ending. So anyways, the biggest problem, and I will say some other positives about it because I love it, and I'm going to buy it, is that even though I like the camera view, I like the improved graphics, it's Diablo, it's fucking great. I feel like the skill tree's a little smaller for some reason, but it's not bothering me too much. I picked Barbarian immediately. That's me. Two-handed sword, or found it, whatever. Actually, weirdly enough, I'm doing bludgeoning weapons in this playthrough.
That's new for you.
It's very new for me. And you can actually, just do skill tree just for bludgeoning. So, like, I just use, like, a big-ass hammer. But it's really being very effective. And so then, I do my spin attack. I kind of do some Diablo things that I always do. But the combat is fun as shit, beautiful to look at, but the enemies level with you.
Oh, gotcha.
Now,
so you never feel like you're kicking ass.
I don't yet. Like, I'm trying to remember in Diablo 3, which I played 1 million hours of, I don't think sometimes that they did. Is that right?
Oh, man, I haven't played it in 1 million years either. I can't remember, but
Diablo
I know what you're talking about.
3.
Like, it's that kind of Elder Scrolls problem where, you want to feel like you go through the rough period, you learn your skills, you get your weapons, you level up, and you want to feel like you are reaping the reward from that. You want to feel like you're kicking ass, and if everybody levels up with you, it's just like you're constantly climbing uphill, but you never get to the peak. That sucks. I don't like that.
It also was, I think, in 3. And so what these games are really about is the loot, which is fun and addictive loop, right? To kind of keep going and seeing this rare item pop up, and you go, oh my goodness, I found that.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, I feel like it's not for you. But so, yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm kind of confused because I do feel like I'm stronger. I'm definitely upgrading shit. Like, when you upgrade your spin, it's like, when you on the upgrade path, it says does more damage. So that's a real thing. But the enemies are leveling with you. So if I go to a dungeon, every dungeon on the map is my level, you know?
Yeah.
And that is frustrating because I'm like, this kind of game would rule, I think, if things were above and below me.
Well, it's kind of a fine point, right? Because, like, I mean, I like loot. I like loot. It's not enough to get me to play a game. Like, I don't just like to be on the loot mill. But, getting a piece of loot, I think the differentiation for me is I want to get a new piece of loot. I want it to feel like it's important because I need to feel like it's different. I need to feel like I get a boost or it does something different in a way that I think is cool. And then I immediately want to use that piece of loot on enemies and witness I am now stronger. I am now kicking their ass that much more, or some new effect happened that I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Lightning spirals out or something. If you're getting loot, which is essentially just to keep up with the people, because if you get another piece of loot that gives you +5 attack, but then all the enemies go up +5 defense, you're just kind of staying in place and you don't really get that feeling of like, oh, this is awesome now. You know what I mean?
Well, let me clarify. You do get that feeling of awesome now because I just got like this fire stick or something, and it's like taking out fools, right?
Okay.
So once you go up a level, it's almost like you don't want to level too much. Because if you find better loot and you have, better abilities and you aren't another level yet, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I do feel empowered. So I would stop playing it if I did.
Yeah. You got to have that feeling. That's key feeling.
It is. But to your point, and to my also why I'm bringing it up is because I was just fighting a skeleton earlier before this podcast, and that skeleton had like, I don't know, 10 hits. And I was like, no, No. I'm level 12, or no, I'm level 25 or 20 or almost 20, 18 probably. And I have a fire stick, and that's a skeleton. That should be one hit.
I mean, is he made of titanium? He's got those little bolts. He had a skiing
No,
accident,
he had
and now he's
nothing.
got like reinforced joints. Like, what's up?
Normal ass skeleton. So
Normal ass skeleton. All
so
right.
that is a problem, you know. So, anyways, that's my only but of the whole thing. It's beautiful to look at. It's super engaging, like I was alluding to earlier. The story told through intensely, you know, dark and graphic cutscenes is about like, you know, this Lilith, which is kind of a Diablo adjacent, all right, a demoness or whatever. She's breathtakingly evil. All the cutscenes are beautiful and dark. And I feel more tied to the story than obviously Wolcen, but also even like Diablo 3, because I feel like I'm just like immediately in. Maybe it's the closer camera, maybe it's the better graphics, maybe it's the fact that they're really staying on point with the story. I just feel like totally in, and I want to know what the ending of that story is. I think more than any other Diablo game.
Well, that's important. You know, I think it's definitely a good story can really carry you a long way. And if the mechanics are dialed in like I would expect them to be, I mean, double win.
Yeah, and I think what they're doing is, here's what's interesting, is kind of like my final take. I think what they're doing with the enemy leveling and with the story stuff is they basically just made a more accessible Diablo. Because anyone can jump in, right? And you don't feel underpowered that there's like a 50 levels above you monster. You go, I could probably do it. So then you keep wanting to play. Like you don't feel, it's not cost prohibitive any area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean like health prohibitive or like level prohibitive.
But, you know, I think there's also something to be said for going into an area and you're way overpowered, but then it kind of fires you up to be like, oh, I'll be back, you motherfuckers. You just wait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like there is a little, I mean, I get it both ways. Like I don't want to be, you know, stomped everywhere I go, but also I do want to like, you know, that is that nice feeling of comeuppance where you come back with a better sword, a better armor, and you're like, haha, these guys that rolled me last time, I rolled them. That's a good feeling, you know?
I love that feeling, and I'm very confused. I'm like kind of like split on it because I'm loving the shit out of my time, and I haven't been. I think I died 3 times so far, you know?
Okay, all right.
And I played it for what, till level 20, almost 20 or something. So I played a long time, died a few times. And by the way, you get tokens. I don't remember this being in Diablo 3. Maybe it was. You get 3 tokens to come back to life. So if I die by like bullshit, which you know I always yell at the screen in Diablo when I die.
Sure.
I'm like, that's bullshit. That skeleton killed me. I really don't like that skeleton. Yeah, you get 3 tokens, so you can just respawn right there, right then. I don't know if you could do that in the past.
And what happens when you are done with your tokens? You got to go back.
I've
to
never
town and
been.
respawn?
I've never been.
All right.
I guess I'm just that good.
You are that good.
No, but I've died once, every once in a while, and when I do, I go, "Oh, I'm not fucked," because I can just come back real quick. So I like that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I like what you said. I'm going to come back and get you guys when I'm better level, but this is also pleasant. It's like they kind of split the difference. Last thing I'll say is that the other player thing, the asynchronous battle that happened in Diablo Immortal, is back, and it hasn't been annoying because again, these aren't PvPs, these aren't invasions in Elden Ring. I will get to an area. It's got a gold circle around it or some sort of circle, and it says event happening, and you can partake or not. But if you stay in the gold circle for a little while, then you're partaking. And then other people are just there, and they're fighting with you on a wave of monsters, a big boss or something, and it's great. Like it just works.
Oh, it's kind of like the Destiny sort of thing, where if you want to take place in a little world event, you can, or you can just bugger off and do something else.
Yeah, so. and again, because I played all of Diablo Immortal and beat it, that was all the time in that game, right? It was kind of you just had this asynchronous, or not asynchronous. I keep using that, but like it's just they're not going to mess with you in a bad way, you know, positive.
Right. Yeah.
So that's been happening. I've been seeing people in town too, almost like an MMO. They'll pop up sometimes. But again, it's not like 100 people around the same vendor. It's like 6, you know, or 4. Yeah. So they're doing that, and that's all technology behind the scenes, like how they're, you know, splitting apart those little servers and stuff. So I think they're doing a really good job. I think it's, again, the most accessible Diablo probably ever, and that's good and bad. But of course, I'm going to buy it as soon as it fucking comes out. I mean, I need this. It's like an addiction, this game.
Well, I know you really like that genre a lot, and to be honest, I mean, I enjoy a good Diablo like once in a while. No, it's not something that I go to all the time, but every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, I could go for something like that. And I think the last one I really enjoyed was Inquisitor, which I thought was amazing. So it's been a while. It's been a minute since I played one. So maybe I'll check it out. I don't know a lot about it, and I guess it depends what else is out. But I got my eye on it. We'll see what happens.
I don't think you're gonna play it.
It's possible. I mean, well, I don't know. I bought Diablo 3. I played it for a while, but I didn't finish it. I didn't go all the way, and I certainly didn't do extra runs or anything. I kind of fell off, but we'll see. To be perfectly honest, I don't know that I'm really in with a lot of Blizzard games. I don't know that I'm their person, but
to that point, I'm not. I don't think I like anything else they do. Like, I don't know. Back in the day, by the way, that should be said. Back in the day, and also back before controversy at their company, because they've been around forever, right? Blizzard, regular Blizzard, not Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
They made a billion other games, right? Like,
oh sure, yeah.
Different styles. So, World of Warcraft and blah blah blah. So, Blizzard's World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hearing silence, I'm like, did I get one of the?
I mean, I was mentally reviewing
games?
myself because I was thinking, like, yeah, I don't think I like any of their other games. I mean, I played Overwatch for a while, but I think that was the only other one. So.
Oh, StarCraft. I played StarCraft back in the day.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't play too much of that. So yeah,
okay.
I don't think I'm their dude. I don't think I'm really in their basket, but that's okay.
I'm in general not in their basket, but a loot type game like this,
yeah,
that definitely, again, you can be having a bad day and you just go in and play a game that you get a bunch of stuff and you upgrade yourself and you feel a little better. Yeah, but again, I gotta say again, it feels like the most successful one, and it also seems like the most story driven one because I really care about what the fuck is going on in that world. So,
all right.
I mean, I can't tell people to check it out, but you're just going to check it out no matter what. It's a huge
Diablo 4, the beta will be over by the time you hear this podcast, but I'm sure it's coming, you said June or something like that. So not too much longer if you are in the market for this. Maybe, we'll see. We'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about it again, so we'll circle back.
I will get the pup tonight.
Get that pup tonight. All right. Let me continue my theme of underwater cosmic horror. This is mostly underwater, very less cosmic horror, but also continuing the theme. And I have mentioned this game before, In Other Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is on the Switch is where I'm playing it, also on PC. This is from Jump Over the Age, as a developer, who is primarily Gareth Damian Martin. He was the man who largely responsible for Citizen Sleeper, which was my game of the year last year by a wide margin. I really liked Citizen Sleeper a lot. So I played In Other Waters when it dropped on the Switch a couple years ago, and I got to be honest with you, I bounced off it real quick. I did not make it very far. Before I get into that, what this game is you play as, I guess, an AI. I don't want to spoil the story because the story is actually the best part of this game. You play as like an AI inside of a high-tech diving suit, and you're on an alien planet. There's a scientist inside of you because you are a suit, and they are talking to you, and they need you to do the functions of the suit. So the scientist will be like, oh, we need to dive, and we need to find some alien fish, and we got to go north and stuff like this. She'll give you these little prompts, and what you do is you don't see the world. Like, you don't see the fish, you don't see the water. You're an AI, so all you see is like a HUD, like a heads-up display. You see like a compass, and you see a depth meter, and you see various readouts, and you see the screen. And what the world looks like to you is a series of dots and a topographical map, and that's all you see. It's like you're looking straight down onto a map, and there's dots, and you go from dot to dot to dot. The person will talk to you and say something. Every once in a while, you have to grab a sample, which is like a little twiddly minigame that you do through another robotic interface. But you're basically looking at a heads-up screen for literally the entire game. There's no real graphics to it. There's no nothing like that. No action like that. So it's very distant. It feels very removed from what's going on. It feels just really dry. I had a really hard time connecting with it the first time. It is also, I think, the second slowest game I have ever played in my life out of all the games. It is so slow.
You're going to tell me why I'm going to like it, or why I should play it, but I am so out right now that it's ridiculous.
Stay out. Stay out. I'm not telling anybody.
Okay.
No, just stay out. You're comfortably out. Don't get in.
Out here.
You are out. You're way out. And I was out too. I was really out too. But like we just talked about in the last 2 segments ago, looking at someone's game design and then going back in history to see what have they done, getting that history lesson, right? So like I said, I bounced off this so hard when it dropped on Switch. I'm like, this is boring as shit. I feel like I would rather watch paint dry. I would rather go do my dishes than play this game because this game is fucking dull and slow and boring. But after playing Citizen Sleeper and seeing what a fantastic experience that was, I'm like, okay, wait. The same person. I need to go back and see, maybe now that I have had my eyes opened with their second game, maybe there's something in the first game for me. And I think that ultimately, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for this person, Gareth, Damian Martin. I don't know them. They've never talked to me. We have no relationship whatsoever. So I'm not going to speak for them, but I think what's going on here is I feel like this person wants to take visual novels and then graft actual gameplay on top of them to make them more enticing, more engaging than they would be otherwise. And I think that's awesome. That is an awesome idea. I am 100% behind that. Absolutely. And if you look at Citizen Sleeper, that's exactly what it is. It is a visual novel, but there are choice points. There are different storylines to follow. There is a time component that is also turn-based. There is hidden areas. There's all sorts of things you can do. But it is still at heart a visual novel. There's RPG elements like leveling up, skills. So in that one, I think it is a magnificent example of taking gameplay from other genres, bolting it on top of a visual novel, and it just comes off beautifully. And in fact, with interviews, I remember Martin saying, I didn't know if this was going to work. I didn't know if people were going to like this. Huge hit for him. So with that in mind, I went back to look at In Other Waters again, and I think that's exactly what he was doing again. He was taking a visual novel, which is this story about a person who's on an alien world studying the underwater life. And to be perfectly frank, not going to spoil it, but this story is pretty fucking cool. I think it's a really good story, and that's what brought me through. But I feel significantly less successful in bringing gameplay elements to this visual novel. So number one, there's just not a fucking visual. Like you're staring at this map screen the whole time. You're seeing little dials and numbers and icons, but it's so boring. It's so boring to look at. And in fact, the only visuals in this entire game are when you complete these little side quests. You'll get one hand-drawn picture of like the animal that you're studying. So you have to study it like 4 times and find it and like do the research, which takes a lot of time because this game is really slow. But when you finally do all that, you get like one little sketch of like, a sea cucumber or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. That is not nearly enough for me. I need way more than that. So I feel like not enough visuals. I feel like also tutorial is terrible. For the first few minutes, I was struggling to even figure out how to move. I'm like, none of this is happening for me. Like they do some visual cues, and once you know what they are, you can make sense of it, but they don't tell you what they are. And if your brain is not on the same wavelength as this guy, you're like, what? What am I even looking at? What am I doing? What does this button do? I don't know how to move. What's happening? So that was really a frustrating struggle for a little while. But I feel like the parts that really it falls down are, number one, it's really slow. Like moving is slow. The text is really slow, but it really clashes with the gameplay elements, and I'll tell you how. So at one point, you get into this part of the ocean that is really low on oxygen. It's almost toxic because there are too many microbes and not enough oxygen. And so what happens is your oxygen meter starts counting down in real time. So that wouldn't ordinarily be a problem, except this is a fucking visual novel and you have to read. And so whenever you scan something, a whole bunch of text pops up and the text is slow to show up. You can't speed up the text. You have to read the text. Whenever your pilot says something new, you have to read that. There's also a timer to make sure you read her text before it disappears. And it's just like there's all this stuff where it's like, okay, wait, I need to participate with this game, but also my oxygen is dwindling in real time, and that feels very unfair. That feels very bad, and I did not care for that. So I feel like those two things are clashing. And I will say that I think he probably agrees, because he fixed that in the next game. In Citizen Sleeper, there are time limits, but they are turn-based, meaning time only moves when you make a choice. So if you're reading something, if you're moving around, if you're thinking about things, nothing happens, but then you make your choice and then time moves forward, which I think is the right way to do it. So what ended up happening for me in Other Waters was I'm in the toxic area, words come up, skip. I don't have time because I'm running out of air, skip. Words come up, skip. Don't care. Got to get to where I'm going, skip. And that's defeats the entire purpose of a visual novel, right?
Right.
If you're not going to read it, what the fuck are you even here for? So that's a problem. You can't zoom out on the map. And so like often you would get lost. They would show you like a big zoomed out area, be like, oh, we got to go southwest and here's this thing we got to find. Cool. You get to the map and you can't go back to the big map. You're not sure. Am I going the right way? Am I going the wrong way? Don't know. That was really a problem. And the biggest problem with this game is they don't explain something that is incredibly important. When you're out in the ocean, you can run out of air, you can run out of electricity because you're just limited supply. What they don't explain is that if you can sample things in the environment, take a chunk of coral, you find a dead fish, like piece of bone, whatever, each one of those things has an electrical and oxygen component to it, but they don't tell you that. And so if you're not clever enough to figure that out on your own, you end up running out of oxygen or electricity over and over and over and over, and you get sent back, which happened to me in the toxic zone where I'm like, there's no way I can make it through this. How am I supposed to do this? I don't know what's going on. I watch a YouTube video because I get stuck, and the dude's like, oh yeah, you take your samples and you put them in your sample thing and it refills your oxygen. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so important. Why did you not tell me that? That is like a core mechanic of this game. It goes completely unexplained. And I'm like, dude, I get that you understood that. I did not understand that. So once I figured that out, it kind of changed the nature of the game, because then I started sampling things just for their value and not because of what the words were or not because of the story anymore. It became about like a min-max where I'm surviving.
Resource.
And I lost. Yeah, it became about resources.
Yeah.
And it stopped being about the story. It stopped being about studying the animals. It stopped being about being involved in the world, which I think just really kind of took away from it. So also, just side note, on the Switch specifically, text is microscopic and the performance sucks, which is weird because this is just a screen of dots and lines. There should be no performance whatsoever. This should be running at 400 frames per second because there's like no tax on the system, right? But I had slowness, chugging, freezing, especially in docked mode, which was just blowing my mind at how poorly it was running. So I like this game because I see what he's trying to do. I did not appreciate it at the time because I didn't know what his grand scheme was. But now that I have two games to compare side by side, I can see the trajectory of like taking a visual novel and injecting gameplay. Great idea. I'm on board. Second attempt, home run out of the park. Like game of the year, fucking amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
But In Other Waters, it just felt like so many ideas that didn't quite come together and so many things butting heads with each other. It's a miserable experience. It's a pretty miserable experience.
Well, I'm staying out, but also what we just talked about is it's like, what are the games that brought us here?
Exactly.
Like, what are the games before Dark Souls? And maybe they're not the best game in the world, but so it's still interesting. But I'm not going to play it, but interesting.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people like this one, and that's cool. And if you get into the story, that's great. But boy, it clashed in so many ways. So I'm glad I did it as an educational exercise.
Yes.
But boy, this was a miserable play. And just for people who are curious, In Other Waters, the second slowest game I've ever played. The first slowest game I've ever played. Can you guess, Carlos? Because I think you played it too.
The slowest game.
The slowest game you've ever played. What was it?
Not Death Stranding.
Nope.
Because that's pretty slow.
No, Death Stranding is like on speed compared to the game I'm thinking of.
Oh, wait. I should know this. The slowest game you've ever played.
You walk slow. The walking speed is hella slow. You got to get through a year in real time. You remember this?
Oh, the game, The Long, whatever.
The Longing.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The Longing is the number one slowest game I've ever played, but this is a very close number two.
Nice.
So,
all right.
There you go. In Other Waters. I learned something. I think I bettered myself as a person, but boy, that was miserable. So, all right, over to you, Carlos, for something which I hope is more fun. Tchia.
Wow, it's not. You don't do that with the name.
No,
yeah.
You don't do that?
Tchia, isn't it? Tchia.
It is, but there's also a T, so I figured I'd add
right.
the T.
I think it's just Tchia, though.
Tchia.
Okay, I'll yes and it. Yes.
Okay, sure.
So let's talk about that. This game, I was actually watching for a while ago. I think I mentioned it on the show.
Oh, yeah, you've been hot for this for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and so finally came out, and it's funny because it kind of, not stealth release, but I was not ready for it. I was like, oh, wait, it's just in the store. Playing it on PlayStation. And can we check and make sure it's on Xbox?
Yeah, I'll look it up right
Just
now.
look it up.
Keep talking. I'll look
sure.
it up. Yeah, I'll look it up.
So, yeah, I've been really interested in this because it definitely seemed from the promotional materials that it's a very positive game, a representation of a different part of the world that you might not know, which I'll talk about right now. So I was already excited. And also, I think they even showed in the early trailers that you get to possess other objects and creatures in the world. Which
found it. It's PlayStation and PC only, not on Xbox.
Oh.
Not on Switch either. Yeah.
The Switch could not handle this, I don't think. Which is funny because it's a simple, like, graphics-looking game. But it's doing a lot, which I'll tell you about. So do you remember how the promotional trailers were like you could possess different things?
I don't think I ever watched a trailer all the way through.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that.
Well, that was the other reason, and maybe I mentioned on the show why I liked the concept. Is you play a little girl who gets these powers, and she can kind of jump into other objects. So let's talk about it. So basically, it's about the people of New Caledonia, which is these islands off the coast of Australia. First time for me learning about it as well, if maybe the listeners as well, and you. So it's this little teeny set of islands, and basically they speak French there. They speak a couple of different languages, but French is the predominant one. So all of the game takes place on these lands. It's also all voice acted by people from the area and the region. All the music, which, by the way, is fucking great and beautiful, is all from people from there as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
And there is which I'll get to, a music minigame. And when you play the music as well, you're playing, their songs and stuff. So a lot of learning, right? And by the way, as soon as you start this game up, they give you like a 5-page panel about New Caledonia and like the people.
Like actual
history. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. And they're
cool.
like, we made this, it's a passion project for us. And also it's a mixture of, and it's part of my review now, it's a mixture of, real things and real cultures and ideas and places, but also it's a mix with folklore and, different kind of mystical ideas that we have. So it's a mixture of those two things, and just a really cool intro to what the game was about. So yeah, so what is the game? You play actually as like one of these like myths or folk tales where there's a woman telling a story to these kids, and then it cuts to you as this little girl, and you're the story essentially, right? I don't know how many other games have done that. It's a thing sometimes, but whatever you play in the game, you're playing like the story. It's a traditional people do that. Anywho, so you're this little girl and you run around. All the graphics are, how do I say it? It's like very colorful, very simple kind of cutout look.
Yeah, kind of like low poly, kind of. I mean, basic, but not in a bad way, but kind of just simplified in a pleasing way.
Simplified, pleasing, Animal Crossing, kind of in a way, right?
Yeah.
The whole game itself, by the way, is these 4 things I've decided, and I'll explain why. But here's my synopsis of what this game is as you play as this little girl.
All right.
It is Breath of the Wild, because when you jump on things, you can climb with a little stamina meter.
It looks very Breath of the Wild, yeah.
GTA. Yep. And Katamari Damacy.
Do you roll stuff?
Kind of. You can push things, and you can yourself can roll a lot, actually. So I'll get to why that I think the game is like those. But you play as this girl. You have your father. It's very touching, very beautiful. As I'm playing it, I'm like, this is just like pure bliss. Like you can't find any negativity. It's like if you're having a tough day, play Tchia. It's like about positive.
Okay.
Now, because it is this kind of folktale and, magic exists and different things that aren't in our real world, what happens is you and your dad are on this island, and enemy comes up and shows up and takes your dad. So basically the whole game is you probably trying to find your dad.
Okay.
But the minute the evil guy and some spirits, because there are some monstery type things, take your dad, you kind of do this thing that you don't know you have this power, which is you jump into a sword or like a blade and kind of attack the bad guy with it. And you didn't even know you could do that.
Into a sword?
Yeah, you jumped into the sword in this cutscene.
Who's holding the sword? Are you like a magical sword?
It was just a sword lying by, and she basically reached out to it and found out that she had these powers that she can jump into objects. So once you do that the first time in a cutscene, later on in the game, again, you're kind of on your own now, and you're trying to like find your dad, and there's this massive open world. It's pretty fucking massive, actually. And third person running around as a little girl. You could do a bunch of moves like jump, glider, like Zelda, right? Roll, slide. But then you learn this power, or you kind of hone the power, which is you can jump into anything, most things. But when I say anything and most things, I mean like rocks. So just earlier today, I tweeted this out, but like I was just strolling through the woods and saw a rock, jumped into the rock, started rolling the rock because it moves pretty fast. And then found a deer, jumped from a rock into the deer, and now I'm running around the forest as a deer. Found a bat later on, and jumped into the bat, and then that freedom to just fly is incredible.
Interesting. Is there like a limit to it somehow?
Yeah, you have a power.
Stamina?
Yep, you have like a magical whatever called power limit. But then you also have a stamina limit. So there's a couple different limits to it. But it lets you just play. Like this game is play. Like it could be called Tchia/play. Because it's just a fun sandbox that, yes, there's story and I can get to it. And there's some funny little poignant moments. Like I was in a waiting room and it felt like very much like, just like a little waiting room scene that would happen in a movie or something. But then a lot of the game is just like a sandbox to fuck around in. And one of my favorite mechanics ever in any game is you can slide and it has physics. Look at Destiny. It's not that hard. Tchia did it. All right? That's all I got to say to Destiny people. Come on. Tchia did it. And by the way, it's a small studio. They're doing a lot. I said, what is it called? Punching above their weight or something?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Exactly. Yeah.
It's incredible what they're pulling off. I don't even know how big the team is, but you can tell that, there's some seams you can see, like it's not 60 frames all the time. It's like 30, 40, sometimes 28. Like it's jumping around a little bit, but you don't care because it's just so damn fun. Here's the other mechanics real quick. Again, the story is not like the main focus of why I play this game. It's about like being in this world and also the positivity because it's so positive. It's ridiculous. And we all need that in our life. It's just running around, possessing things, picking up things, throwing things. The other thing you can do is you can pick up almost anything, which is hard to do in games for some reason. A lot of games don't do it. And you can store anything. So I picked up immediately a boar because I saw a boar running around and picked him up.
Wild boar, pig?
Wild boar.
Yeah.
You can throw anything you pick up. So I threw the boar. He was fine. But then I was like, wait, can I store the boar? You can store the boar.
Nice.
Store the boar is a good podcast name too.
Store the boar is not bad.
You want to store things like soccer balls and things like that because later on they can help you get to places you didn't think you'd get to, right? I stored like everything I thought I could in the beginning. There's a limit. So you have a store limit, just like an inventory limit.
Is this like in your person, or do you
on
take
your
it back
person?
To your house or something?
No. So like I had a boar, a llama, a soccer ball, a frying pan. Not realistic. Mm-hmm. But I jump into objects like rocks, so realism's out the window, and it's a mystical folktale. But yeah, you can store, and that just makes it funny and fun, and like puzzle solving becomes fun too, because like there's an explosive. I heard. Max Scoville said this on his show, Podcast Beyond. He like became a flammable canister and there was all these monsters, but he didn't want to fight them or he didn't have any way to fight them. So he just became a flammable canister, jumped into like the fire and just blew up. And then all of them died, So there's just like fun mechanics like that. The sliding's really fun. I don't ever want it to end. Like I don't want to find my dad. Like I don't want this game to end. I'm just going to like always bring it up.
That is a really sad / funny picture of like a kid playing outside and they're having like this endless adventure and their dad is like in a dungeon somewhere sad and they're like, they're not coming to get me because they are having too much fun without me. Well, that is really sad.
That is what my playthrough is going to be. Like my dad's going to have a beard. He's going to be, what's it called? Malnourished. Mm-hmm. And he's going to not recognize me. And I'm going to be like...
You're going to grow up without him. And then finally, when you're done having fun, he'll be like, I barely remember you.
I'm going to beat this game. And I'm going to be an adult woman. And I'm going to be like, Dad? Yeah, because I had so much fun. It's a fucking fun game. Here's the other last thing I'll say about it. I could talk about a long time about it because it is very fucking fun. Punching above its weight. I think everybody should play it, actually, especially in these darkened times at times, Mm-hmm. It's a ray of sunshine. But and not only is it fun to play, but it's also super positive. The guitar parts, all the music I love, but I play guitar. I've played acoustic on tour before. There's a feel to getting a music game right. And if you're doing it with guitar, you have a ukulele in this, and you're doing chords. It's lots of times it feels wrong. We've played a lot of games that have music mini games, and it's like just trying to put the button when it goes across the graphic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
This is right analog stick moving around to different notes, which already feels very, very organic and good. And you can hit the chords early if you want. None of that bullshit where it goes bank, You know, if you miss.
Yeah, mistimed or imperfect or something. Yeah.
I was doing a song, and actually, I think it sounded better because I hit some of the notes late, and it let me do that. You know, was that one of the notes I just heard?
It was. I'm strumming the ukulele right now.
Yeah, you're playing it. You were so compelled by my talking about this game.
I literally bought it and downloaded it right as we're talking.
And you're
this.
playing it.
Yep, right now.
But you know what I mean? There's a lot to be said about getting that right. And it was just so fun to play those songs. And you can play the songs anytime you want. Like you can just pick up your ukulele and start strumming it, which I think is great. I can't say enough positivity about this. I'm waiting for some sort of rebuttal or something. What do you think?
Well, I don't really have a rebuttal. I mean, I don't know that I'm in the market for an open worldy sort of thing right now. And to be honest, I mean, Zelda's coming this year, right? That was this year, the whatever Tales of the Kingdom or whatever it's called.
It is, but I personally am so over Zelda, but that's just me.
I mean, I need to like strategically save my mojo, right? Because if I play a big open world game like this, that honestly, like from videos, I haven't watched a lot of videos, but what I've seen of it, it reminded me a lot of like Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, okay, so if I play Tchia, I don't know that I will have enough juice left in the tank to play Zelda when it comes out. I can only do certain amounts of certain genres per year, so I may be tactically saving that juice for Zelda, maybe. But also, I will say I'm just a little bit annoyed with this game personally, and this is just a me, Brad, editor of GameCritics.com specific gripe that I probably nobody in the world shares. But I talked to PR about this. PR was hammering me about this game at least 2 or 3 emails a week, and they were very loud and vocal about it. And this is not a knock against PR. I love the PR company. Not going to name names, but they're great people. We have a great relationship. This is not a knock against PR. But they're like, yeah, Tchia. And I'm like, okay, cool. Do you guys have any codes? And they're check it out. No codes. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to bother with this then. And it's not PR's fault. Whoever was in charge of this just was either not distributing codes to us specifically because we've been burned off the PlayStation list, or they simply just didn't have codes to give out. Whichever way it was, I don't know whichever way it was, no codes. And I mean, like, real talk, dude, I get so many free codes a fucking day that when someone's like, I want you to do this game and I want you to buy it and play it, but I can't give you a code, I'm just like, no. I have so many other that's like being at a fucking buffet, an all you can eat buffet, and someone's like, please buy this burger. Well, I've got this whole buffet in front of me. It's all free. But please buy this burger.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. I've got all this other food in front of me. I'm going to eat the free food, and I'm not going to get the burger. So, again, I realize this is hyper specific and really petulant and stupid, but like,
it is.
It is. I'm totally saying it is. But like, as a game critic and as an editor and doing this thing for 20 fucking years, when I have 10 codes that I already don't have time for, and then someone wants me to buy a game to check out their game, the answer is just no.
Okay.
So I rely on you. Yeah, that is my jam, and I own that.
That's your jam, yeah.
But I'm waiting for you to come back and tell me it's amazing, or I'm going to listen to podcasts or people on Twitter to tell me. And if the word of mouth builds up and builds up and builds up, then I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll go for it. But I'm not going to buy it sight unseen, and just give it a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go back in time. The first thing you said was probably the most the biggest reason why you might not play it, because I don't have the thing where I can only play one open world game at a time. Because, I play all of them.
Yeah, you like them more than I do. For sure, yeah,
so I think that's really the only defining factor besides the PR thing, because we can talk about that. That's such a very specific Brad thing. But I'll say one thing. So, yeah, I think it might just be that, because if you want to play Zelda, you're going to play Zelda, and that'll be all your time, and you don't have any time in the day. Right. So that'll probably be the reason you shouldn't play it. But I will say this. I don't say this very often, but I want to play this game all the time. Like, I don't want it to end. And there's like 3 games like that on my system right now. There's very few where I'm like, I want to keep going back to them.
Yeah.
That's high praise for me, because like everything about it is just fun to do. There was one other game where you possess objects. I forgot what it was, or maybe 2.
Yeah, there's been a couple. It's not all the time, but every once in a while. It
happens.
Yeah, it happens.
And every time we've done it, I've played them and really enjoyed like messing around. But the difference is this one's not only that. It's 2 extra things, which are, 1, it's positive, right?
Which is great. I'm in favor of positive, for sure.
You walk up to people, there's still some like grumpy people. It's not like everyone's like the nicest person in the world, but it just doesn't feel like you're going to get that, crazy negativity. And then also, it's a learning experience, like we said earlier in the podcast. I learned about New Caledonia. I learned about even aspects of Australia and the coast and folk music and mystical stuff. So any game that's going to do that and show and represent, their people, I have to like say it's different than fucking
Which
Zelda.
is pretty cool. I definitely think that's pretty cool. For sure.
I've been playing Zelda since fucking I was a child. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
I cannot be more over Zelda, but in general, that has been done to death, and this is, these stories have never been told. Some of these stories, so that's the other thing. But yeah, on the PR side of thing, that's just the bread thing. But included in PlayStation Plus, by the way.
Is it included in PlayStation? Oh, it is.
Right
it is.
now.
I think John from Gaming the Wild told me that it was. And I actually let my PlayStation Plus lapse because I didn't really have any reason to hang on to it. But it might be worth, I don't know what the lower, do you get it with the lower tier or do you got to be in the middle tier? Do you know?
I think it's just whatever the regular first tier is.
Oh, man, I'm confused.
I don't
with the
know.
tiers.
I don't know.
I might sign
hate
up with
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Believe me,
I might
hate
sign
the
back
tiers.
up for a month and just play this and then unsubscribe again. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it'd be cheaper to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I did buy it. We won't go down this rabbit hole because we're almost done with the show. But I do think that's really important to, pay for certain things like this because, again, these are people, small team. They're trying to get their word out. They're trying to talk about their history.
Sure.
And so I paid the $30, man. I paid the whole $30, and I really love that I paid it. I mean, that $30 is going to go. I'm going to keep playing this game like all year. Like it's just,
yeah.
I keep fucking around with it. So
Sure.
I can't say any more positive about it.
I mean, that sounds great. And just to follow up what you're saying, like, and I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea here. Like, I buy indie games. I do buy games, and I'm happy to throw money at people when I feel like it's something that I want to support or I like their work or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I'll buy every Swery 65 game that comes out, or I'll buy, every Darkest Dungeon game that comes out or something, because I know these teams and I want to support them. And you got to put your money where your mouth is. That's for sure. But with this being an unknown quantity, I am much more hesitant to spend money on something until I know that it's something that I like or something that is worthwhile. So, but I'll check it out for sure. I mean, I bet my wife would probably dig this. I bet my kid would probably like it. Even if I ended up not playing it, I bet the family would like it. I'll have to check it out. So it seems like it's getting pretty good word of mouth, and you're just kind of reinforcing that. So,
well, what you just said is perfect examples. Like it's definitely a family game. Holy crap!
Yeah,
it's like a physics-driven playground, right? And so that's why I brought up Katamari. Like you'd literally roll around as a soccer ball and go through a goal, or smash cans. And like you could just do that for like hours.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's just like kind of for everybody. But anywho, that's Tchia. Check it out.
Check it out.
Get out.
There you go. And for anybody who doesn't know why we said that, I imagine there's probably some people who don't know why we said that.
Thing.
That's an old person thing. If you Google Tchia Pet commercials on YouTube, they used to say that at the beginning of every Tchia Pet commercial. So if you think we're losing our minds, no, it's just a really, really old reference callback. YouTube it, you'll see what we mean. It's a joke for the old folks like us. So just there you go. We're not crazy.
Tchia.
Check it out. Check out that Tchia out. Yes, absolutely. Okay, a couple more games and we're out of here. So this is a really strange one. I'm continuing my theme. This is the last game in my theme. This is combining Cosmic Horror and Underwater. Started with Cosmic Horror, went to Underwater. Now I got both two things combined. Had a theme. There it is. Is Dredge. I am talking about Dredge, the full version, which is strange because we played the demo, I want to say a month ago-ish, something like that. I think it was on the last show before you took some time off, so maybe 3 weeks ago. And then the PR representatives were nice enough to send me a code, which meant that I would play this. And I played this game. I loved it. Full disclosure, loved it. My written review is up at gamecritics.com. But I finished it and then I put it down, and that was like 2 weeks ago. So I've lived 2 weeks of life since the last time I talked to this, or last time I didn't talk to this game, since the last time I played this game, which is weird because we're usually getting codes so close to review that it's like a rush to play them. And I love getting them early, but the downside of that is like I played it like 2 weeks ago ish, maybe more. And now I feel like it's old history, and yet the game's not even out yet, which is so weird.
Well, it is out now.
Is it out now?
Yeah, I think so.
The embargo dropped, but I thought there were still multiple. No. I think it comes out on the 30th, doesn't it? I think it's 4 more days. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. Hold on. I just saw it on PlayStation today.
I know the review embargo dropped on the 23rd, and that was 1 week before release, so I'm pretty sure it drops on the 30th. At least on
you're
Switch.
right. Yeah, pre-order. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So it's not even out yet, and I already feel like it's old news, which is blowing my mind. But okay, all right. Regardless of all that nonsense, this is a great game. You should play it. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Full disclosure, I gave it a 9 out of 10 over at Game Critics. If you want to check out my full
That's
comments.
a high number for you.
That is a very high number for me, and I'll tell you why. So what is Dredge? This is the game where you play a fisherman on a boat, and you never leave the boat. You're always in the boat. And you go to this series of islands in this sea, and you meet people in each of these islands, and they all have these different quests for you. And basically, there's a lot of like spooky stuff going on. There's definitely a really, really, really heavy Lovecraft vibe, cosmic horror sort of thing. There's weird stuff in the water. There's fish, but there's also like weird mutated fish. There are ruins here and there. There's people in robes doing some pretty sus stuff that you don't know about. So there's all sorts of weird stuff, but at the same time, it's also like a fishing game. At the base identity of this game is catch fish, earn money, upgrade your boat. That's the basic thing. But then on top of that, they have these little bits of Lovecraft story, weird people to meet, weird quests to go. And then there's also like the cosmic horror through everything. So I think this game is pretty brilliant. Number one, as I said earlier during the Omens section, Elder Sign, I like cosmic horror and I like Lovecraft, but I don't want to play another first-person psychological or shooter. This is taking Lovecraft stuff and doing something completely different with it. This is, as far as I know, the only fishing simulator combined with Lovecraft, which is a pretty... It seems like a crazy idea, but when you realize how much time Lovecraft spent writing about fish and underwater, it kind of makes more sense. He spent a lot of time talking about the ocean. He was really scared to shit of it, and so it's why it comes up in his writing so much. So it makes more sense once you get kind of below the surface of it. But basically, you go around, and what I like most about this is the economy, the sparseness of it, and the quickness of this game, because it moves at a great pace from start to finish. The developers were very wise in that they know a little goes a long way. So like when you are at a town, you dock up with your boat, but you don't go into the town. You just, these little menu windows pop up. You talk to people in menu, which is great because you don't waste time with some weird half-assed third-person interface. You don't walk up and down the streets looking for people. You just get to the town window. You want to talk to the fishmonger. Do you want to talk to the shipwright? Do you want to talk to the mayor? Do you want to talk to the lighthouse keeper? Just talk to them real quick. That's it. Just do it fast. When you talk to them, it's just a couple lines, but they're well written, and I think that they communicate what they need to. They give you a little bit of creepy, they give you a little bit of mystery, they give you a hint towards your next goal. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need reams and reams and reams of writing, which is also something that Lovecraft games tend to do. It's like, he wrote the books. The books are there. You can read the books anytime. Do not give me a book, because if I wanted that, I would go do that. What I want is something that captures that flavor, but does not make me read an entire book. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
They give you a couple lines, you get in, you talk to somebody, you bounce, you get back out on the water. And when you're out on the water, they are really, really smart when it comes to the fishing, because you're going to have to do a lot of fishing. That's what this game is about. But it's so quick and so painless and so friction-free. I love it. Like, basically, you're out in the water. You see little splashes in the water, which tells you there's a fish there. When you pull up in your boat, you can see the shape of the fish, and all the fish have different shapes. So let's say, for example, you've got a quest. Someone's like, bring me 3 salmon. And you're like, okay, cool. In any other fishing game, you would just pick any random spot and just fish forever until you found 3 salmon, right? Mm-hmm. But in this one, you pull up to that spot, you look at the shape, you're like, this is not a salmon, leave. And you will just drive around until you find a spot that has salmon, which are identifiable very easily. You're like, here's a salmon, boom, fish. Get exactly the fish you need. And when you do the minigame, it's very quick. There's none of that tension in the line.
Pulling it up.
Yeah. None of that shit. It's just like a little circle thing. You hit the button to the beat, basically. Boom, 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 salmon, done. Got it. Move on. Boom, 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 salmon, another one, done.
Because it's not about that process. It's more about the other stuff, right?
Exactly. They want you to fish. They know you're going to catch 1,000 fish, but each fish is just like you're just doing it, right? You're pro fisherman. You're great at this. You don't need to struggle. There's no line tension, no red, no little ding, 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 ding when your line's about to break or any of that shit. Like you just catch the fish. It is very straightforward and fast, which I appreciate because you do it a lot. So you get through it quickly. You get your fish, you come back. And then as you go, people have quests. Somebody will be like, hey, catch me one of those weird 3-eyed fish. Or, hey, there's a hidden cave that I need to find a treasure in. Can you please go get that for me? They do a great job of incorporating like different kinds of quests while always keeping them very simple, very straightforward. You barely ever get lost. You barely ever don't know what to do. Like everything is really focused. It just really flows very well. And every challenge you get is interesting, but also not arduous, not tedious. The islands are small enough to where you feel like you're exploring, but you're not getting lost. You're not overwhelmed by what you're doing. You're always kind of curious to see what comes around the next corner. And then when you get there, it feels manageable. Like you take in the lay of the land pretty quickly. You do what you need to do, and it's fun and involving. It furthers the story, which is great. and it furthers the environment, which is cool. And then you don't get bogged down, like you're never just drowning in it, which I think is wonderful.
Drowning in it, pun intended.
Exactly. I got a lot of puns going on here.
Real quick question though. I'm seeing the storage and in the inventory. It looks like Resident Evil.
It is exactly like that. And you know I'm a sucker for that. So that is a plus for me.
Yeah.
Some people didn't care for that. I think that's fun and I really enjoy it. You start off with a small boat, and the boat looks exactly like Resident Evil storage box, where you've got a fishing pole, a fishing net. You got to have you catch fish, you put them in there. Whatever other gear you have has to fit in there, and you can rotate things and make them fit. I thought that was fun as fuck. I think that's really fun. I get that some people don't think that's fun, but I think it's really fun. So it worked for me. And you can upgrade your boat. Your boat gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you got to install like lights, and you got to install bigger motors and still make everything fit. So I think that's a really fun aspect of it too. You have storage back at your base. You can stick some stuff in there. And there's another thing that's really smart about this game is the resources and economy. I almost never, there was only one point in the game of the entire game where I ran out of like a resource and I had to go get it. Otherwise, I always had enough on hand because I was kind of picking it up as I went. And I never ran out of money. You can fish for stuff, but there's also a lot of ways to get passive income, which is really smart. You can have a trawling net on the back of your boat. You put it in the water and then you go wherever you're going. And along the way, you catch fish for free. You catch them in the net. It's just like free money. You can get the crab pots, which are super valuable. You just get these crab pots, you dump them in the ocean. You leave for a couple days, you come back, it's full of crab, you sell it for a bunch of money, it's free money, it's easy, you didn't have to really do anything. So they make sure that they keep you moving forward without ever bogging you down. And like I said, there was only one time, which was kind of a weird happenstance, that I ran out of a resource, but otherwise had plenty of money, had no problems finding resources. It was not a big deal. It wasn't a task that you had to do. It just kind of happened, like it flowed naturally. The economy was really well done because, again, they don't want you fishing for hours and hours. I mean, they want you to do a little bit, but keep the story moving, keep the adventure going, find a new quest, keep things going. So that's really well. I think it's all really well done. I think the Cthulhu elements are really awesome too, because part of Cthulhu and Lovecraft is like going crazy, acknowledging that there are things out there that are bigger than humanity, can drive someone mad. They do that really well. When you get tired, things happen on the water. I'm not going to spoil it. When you do certain things that are mystical or creepy in nature, it kind of makes you unbalanced, and things will happen. You'll see things on the water. Things get a little dangerous. I'm not going to spoil it because I think discovering these is like half the fun. But I thought it was really well done. It was really smart. It was never too much. I never got into like serious trouble where I, got mad or sunk my boat or anything. Like, it was never punitive, but it was really cool. And the other thing that's really cool about this is how they incorporate it into the main quests. There's like 5 island clusters, I guess, and each one has their own theme. And each one of these could be its own little micro Lovecraft story. So in one area, like I'm trying not to spoil anything, but there are creatures in the water that you don't want to fight. And true to Lovecraft form, no one ever goes up and like punches Cthulhu in the face or anything. Like, you look at him and you go crazy. So in the same spirit, when you find these creatures, most of the time you can't do shit to them. Like, you need to just run away or be clever about it, maybe do something else. And I thought that was great. Like, you never have combat. There's no combat.
Yeah,
there's no guns, ammo, no combat, no guns, no ammo, nothing like that, because those cosmic terrors are just so far above humanity. You can't fight them. So you're often running away or trying to figure out what their schedule is and go around them, or figure out some other kind of solution where you are not fighting them because you can't win. Which is very true to Lovecraft. So I thought those themes were incorporated really, really well. Some of the quests were really cute and fun. I mean, altogether, this was a really, really fantastic game. I literally could not put it down once I started playing. I went through the whole game in, I think, 2-3 days, and I had a blast with it. Very, very few complaints. One of the quests that I didn't care for had a hidden time limit on it, which is weird because most of the quests you can take as long as you want. It feels very much like just get to it whenever you want to get to it. But there's 4 quests, I think, in the game that have a hidden time limit that they don't tell you about. And so I activated them. I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll come back later. And I did some other shit, come back, and all of a sudden I can't finish it because I waited too long. So that didn't feel good. I don't care for that. There is one part in the game, the one time that I ran out of resources, it was a really weird thing where this person wants you to catch a specific fish and you need a specific fishing pole. They give you like half of the stuff that you need. And I had literally just spent all my resources right before I did that. And so I'm like, oh, well, I just spent all my stuff. I can't buy the other half of the gear I need. Why did you not just give it to me? So I had to like pause the game, went and found some resources. To be fair, it took me like 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't a big deal, right? Like even worst case scenario wasn't a big deal. It was just weird because just give that to me and I could have just rolled on with the game. It was like a weird stopping point. But other than that, the story wraps up, which I thought was a perfect ending. I thought it was really great. Had a good time. Oh, okay. One more thing. The biggest problem with this game that I wish they fix, they probably won't, but they will in a future game perhaps. I wanted the ability to drop my own map marker. That was the one thing that I really felt like this game really lacked, because sometimes you'll come across an island and you're like, oh, here's a thing. I can't do it now, but I want to come back later. But I'm going to forget. And I can't remember, which part of the island. Was it the south side, east side? Which one of these 5 islands was it? Like, it's pretty easy to forget where you're at. And so I really wish I could have just put a pin down and be like, come back later. I mean, lots of games do that. That's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
Could not do that in this game, which I thought was a problem. That was my biggest complaint, because I very often was like, oh, I found the thing. Now I need to, where did it go? Who needed this thing again? I can't remember. And I didn't keep a notepad or anything. I didn't write down notes with my hand, which I hate doing. So that was my only big complaint. But other than that, Dredge is fucking awesome. I had a great time with it. Wonderful spin on Cthulhu and Lovecraft in a very different way. Fishing quickly, smooth moving, fast paced, great story. I thought it was wonderful. I had a blast with it.
Yeah, it seems like it's more about the adventure and not about the fishing. It's
exactly.
That's part of it, but the Lovecraftian story and kind of how you get through things, and it seems pretty straightforward, so people can like play it and beat it and kind of enjoy that experience.
Oh, totally.
I was going to ask you about the combat, but you already told me there's not really that. It's more just like escaping it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of all in with this. It's come out on every platform ever. Like, it's on Good Old Games even. So that's cool. And check it out. But you reminded me of something really quick.
Yeah.
So check it out. But you said map, and I forgot to mention the only thing I don't really like about Tchia, besides the frame rate, I wish it was a little better sometimes, is that you can't, on the map, it doesn't show you where you are.
Oh, what?
Which you go, what in the world would that ever be a reason? I'm guessing because you're a little girl and you don't know, and they're trying to do something with the story bit. But, and believe me, I hate it. When you click in on the map, it says, we think you're in this area, and they show a circle.
We think you are? Like, you're not sure?
Yeah, and I'm guessing, again, maybe it's because with the story bit, like the fact that the girl doesn't know where she is, I don't know. But every time you find signs, or you put your own pins down, or you find locations or something, they're on the map. And so,
okay, well, that's good at least.
Yeah, I didn't get lost, but it's almost like it encouraged me to be like, explore this place like you would explore.
Right.
And don't be like, just go from point A to point B in fast travel. So while it was annoying at times, I kind of I'm kind of okay with it. But anyways.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Check out Dredge. Check out Tchia.
All right. Last game of the show is one that I did not plan on playing, but I knew you were playing, so I decided to play it so we could both talk about it. Have a Nice Death. This one just came out recently, maybe a week ago or something like that. 2D roguelite platformer actiony game, and you were the one that tipped me off about it. So why don't you fill us in? Tell us about Have a Nice Death.
Yeah, I saw it because watching YouTube, someone was playing it. And they were like, I died again. And I was like, oh, what's that about? Ears perked up. But also I saw the graphics. And I think I don't know if we had talked about it or we had mentioned it. I do remember seeing it somewhere.
Yeah, we saw a trailer. It was like the Nintendo Direct or something like that, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. So it's, you play as Death, the Grim Reaper, but like a chibi version. It's like a smaller version. There's a backstory. It's not very long. But essentially, you're kind of in a corporate America office building kind of thing, although a pretty dark and creepy one. And you're managing all the deaths that come in, which is there's a lot of them, because it's sad. Life. We're all gonna die, people. Anyways, it's a dark turn.
It is kind of dark, yes.
You basically play as a little death character with a sickle or scythe or whatever it's called, and you go through these runs and to beat a boss. And then you go through these, I think, are they procedurally generated maps?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah, they feel like they are. And it's similar to, like, a lot of roguelikes we played, Hades and Cult of the Lamb, kind of in a way, where when you're going through this maze, you can pick different sections that you want to try. So like you go to a door at the end of a level, it says, hey, you want to pick from one of these 3 things. Do you want to go to the basement? Do you want to go to the special library area or whatever? And that'll change what the landscape of that level is going to be like. And so it's like 4 or 5 levels and you get to a boss. That's kind of the gameplay. And there's a hub. And the hub is really cool because all the little characters are very cool. I love the art style. It's definitely like Tim Burton, right? It just feels like Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Cutesy, creepy sort of a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what I was hoping, there's definitely a but here. There's another big but. What I was hoping is this game would be more like Cult of the Land because it is cutesy, because it is a hub that's pretty big, like many, many rooms, right, in this hub. You go to
too many rooms, I think.
There's quite a lot. There's
a lot.
A gym and stuff, and there's like libraries and stuff. But as you went to them all, I noticed you could upgrade them, and I was like, oh, maybe this will be like Cult of the Lamb vibes, where I feel that I want to walk around and talk to people here, and then go out and do runs. And on paper, that's kind of what it's set up to be, right?
Yeah,
a 2D version of that.
Or even like, I feel like they were really aping Hades in the same way, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like lots of folks in your hub, and then you talk to them, and new story pops up, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I bring in Cult because of the chibi characters, you know.
Same vibe.
Music's great, by the way. I love it. It's beautiful. And one of my favorite things is every time you die, you come back to the main area, your office or your desk, and it does that song that never gets old for me. Welcome to the afterlife. I just love it.
I did not play with the sound on. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know sounds in games.
That's I don't know. I didn't have my headphones on. Sorry.
It's like really, it helps when you come back because you're like, oh, okay, I'm not that mad. But yeah, the biggest but, we'll just do it right away, is that while I enjoy the gameplay, you upgrade your weapons. You can talk on that if you want a little bit, but each level, you're going to get different runs, so you get different weapon choices. There's some upgrades that are permanent, but there's 2 buts. One of the buts is the upgrades don't feel significant enough. Some of the things are like a slap in the face by the developer, which is like one of the upgrades says you get a 1% chance to find a better weapon. 1% chance?
Get out of here, yeah.
You can go to hell for that upgrade. Like, that's just a really mean thing to do. So there's things like that where you're like, I didn't feel like I was getting any better. And then the other one is the bosses. They are patterns. And
yes.
I don't like any game really like that at all. Even roguelikes, like Cult of the Lamb and stuff like that, that's more like, what's it called? Skill-based in a way. Where like you fuck around, you blow up a thing, there's physics, it explodes this other thing, and you won, But you're not like, there's some patterns, that's going to shoot things out to the sides or whatever, but you can win a lot of different ways in Cult of the Lamb bosses. And this one, you can't. You fucking can't. Brad is the first boss, right? It is Brad.
It is literally Brad.
It's you. It was you controlling it. Yeah.
Yes, it was me.
And
the whole time.
I couldn't beat you. Fun fact, couldn't beat you. Played this game for a long time. Yeah, you're really good. No, but seriously, I still had fun. This is my final review, actually.
Okay.
I still had a lot of fun with the levels. Like, it's very fun to go through the levels. I had a lot of fun with it. I never not had fun. And I was like, just owning the levels. I didn't feel any challenge at all, in a way. Like, it was just kind of fun. Got to know when to dodge. It was fun. And then I got to the end and would die because I didn't know the level or the boss pattern. So that I can never play a game like that.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I think on paper, I should like this game a lot more than I do, and I actually don't really like it that much. Good things first. I think the animation is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Really beautiful animation, and I think that's really what got my attention. If you just look at the trailer or you just see it in motion for a few minutes, YouTube, whatever, you're like, wow, that's like really smooth looking, the way that the Reaper moves and his weapons move, and it's all just like super fluid and really attractive. So that was, really well done. I think the animation is great. But I had like a lot of problems with this game. It starts off with a really good first impression, but as you get further into it, or at least as I got further into it, I liked it less and less and less and less. I think the biggest problem I had with it overall is that for a roguelite, you should really have variety. That's really something that keeps it going. Having each run feel slightly different is really what this genre is all about. And I feel like this game fails pretty hard at that. You can change up your weapon, your scythe. There's the base scythe, which looks just like, the stick with the blade on it. But then you get like dual knife-like scythes. You get one that's almost like a yo-yo, which was pretty cool. But they all basically feel kind of the same. Like as I was going through, I didn't really notice that my playstyle was changing. I didn't really notice that I was changing my behavior. Regardless of what weapon I had, I kind of was doing the same thing, which is already a warning sign. Despite having all these options, I think by the time I finished playing the game, I had like 3 different scythes, and I think I had tried maybe 4 or 8 different kinds of like sub weapons you can get.
There's a ton of them too.
Yeah, there's a bunch,
Range.
and you unlock more as you go. Like you have to like kill 100 enemies with the sword, and then you get the knife, and then you kill 100 enemies with the knife, and then you get the yo-yo or whatever. Like it's kind of like thing where you can't just unlock them at first. You have to like play a bunch to unlock more of what you get. And so part of that was like looking at that, going like, okay, that's a lot, and I don't know that I like this game that much. And seeing how long the road was ahead of me was a little bit discouraging. But also it just didn't feel that different. And I think part of that is the procedural levels. I don't think there's enough value in those levels. As you're going through them, enemy variety is not great. It is like per biome they change, but like when you're within a certain biome, there's not a lot of enemies, and they all kind of do the same thing. It's not really interesting to fight them, and you end up going through 4 or 5 levels of boring enemy fights that feel not really valuable. And then you get to the boss fight, and then the bosses are all like way tougher than anything in the level.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm not saying that I'm complaining about this game being easy, because I don't want to say that. But what I'm saying is you kind of just sleepwalk through the levels, and you don't feel like you're getting really stronger. You don't feel like you're getting anything worthwhile. You get to the boss, and then the bosses are like really tough. I was actually really surprised by how much damage the bosses were doing to me when I first got there, because it's like night and day different. The enemies will chip you for like a pixel, and you get to the boss and he chunks you for like, like a quarter of your life or something.
Or
I'm
one
like, whoa.
shot.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, sometimes. So I was like, whoa, that seems really weird. And after doing that, I honestly think that this game should just be a boss rush. I don't say that often, but the most interesting content of this game is fighting the bosses and seeing their different animations and patterns. And I know you don't like that, so that's not going to work for everybody, but I thought the main levels were so boring and so empty that there wasn't really much point in me going through them, because you just go through this whole level, you get a small little perk, go through another level, get a small little perk. So you're going to get 3 or 4 perks by the end of the run. Honestly, I would have rather you just let me pick the 4 perks and fight the boss and save all the time of going through the level, because it's not interesting.
Well,
the level design's not interesting. It's pretty boring, I think.
Let me counterpoint though, because the fun that I was having was the fluidity of the levels. I agree that they're not fun and like are interesting, right, or diverse. Yeah. They're like go left or go right, and that's exactly, it, right? Yeah. And to this point, the enemies don't seem like they get stronger. Like I did like 100, well, not 100, but like they're like 40 runs or something, or 30 or something, and like every time I went through, I was like, it felt, again, the act of doing it felt fun to go dodge, swoop, ding, bing, boom. But because they weren't getting harder and they were just tap them and they're gone, then I didn't feel like I had any sort of build up to the boss, because it was just this extreme jump. So it's almost like if they had a mini boss or something. Oh, no, wait, there is a mini boss.
There are mini bosses.
And I chose to do that, and I enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed that, because I was like, oh, I am better now. And I was able to take out those mini bosses. So, but yeah, I think more of that stuff. And I don't feel the progression.
Yeah, the progression does not feel good. You don't really feel like you're getting stronger. You don't feel like you're getting good. I mean, it's kind of hard to encapsulate, because I think that it's all about fine tuning the knobs of a roguelike, and that's a really delicate process. I'm not saying it's easy, but as I'm playing this, like a lot of the power-ups I got did not feel good, and knowing that I had to like go through so many runs before I'd be able to lock stuff didn't feel good. It didn't feel in the same way of something like a Rogue Legacy, where you can choose which you want to upgrade and kind of tailor your experience. Or often a lot of roguelikes, when you pick up something in the level, you immediately feel different. Like a Binding of Isaac or something like that, where you pick up a weapon, all of a sudden the thing that you were just doing 1 minute ago is totally different now, because your bullets bounce, or because you have a sword now instead of a gun or something. And like it just kind of changes the way that you go. It doesn't feel like that, and I think they've kind of missed what makes a good roguelike good in this. So I kind of think it would be better off as a boss rush, where you just do the most interesting fights and then just get a bunch of power-ups in between. I think would be cool. Just let you customize your character a little bit faster and not do all the busy work in between, because I'm not going to go through these levels and kill 1,000 of this enemy and 1,000 of this enemy before I can lock the new weapon. It's just, it's close, but it's not quite there. And I think also, big downside. Let me use the D-pad, please. Like, I could not use the D-pad. You have to use the analog stick for literally no reason. There's no function mapped to the D-pad. The analog stick is not as precise when you're playing a 2D platformer. I was really mad that I couldn't use the D-pad because that's how I like to play my platformers. So that sucked. I feel like the bosses or the buttons were also wonky. How they're mapped to the controller and what the tutorials tell you is really weird. And I think they should have gone through that one more time. Also, I don't know, were you playing on PS5 or were you playing this?
Yes, PlayStation, I think. And also I remapped the dodge button immediately to B or whatever.
Yeah. I wanted to do that, but then I needed to do that. I didn't do it, but I should have done it. But also, load times on Switch are annoyingly long. They're probably different on PS5, but like between levels, it's just like, ugh, like it goes on for like 15 seconds too long, and I'm like, this is painful. It's really annoying.
There's no load time on PS5.
I figured. So anyway, it's a cool idea. I feel like they should have just, I don't know. I feel like they just missed the boat by a hair. I feel like this is really close to being a pretty cool game. But it's just not quite there for me. And I actually, I think after my first day, I was like, okay, I'm good. Like I get it. And I think I have a pretty good grasp of this game. And I didn't have a hard time walking away from it. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I thought it was going to be my next Cult of the Lamb. I'm like, I like roguelikes, of different varieties, but yeah, I don't want to do a pattern in general. I know you can do that more than I can, but I will just jump out the window before I do a boss pattern. Literally.
Well, shut your windows first before you start playing the next game.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is Have a Nice Death. Sounds like kind of a mess for both of us, but all right. That's the way it goes. We did cover a lot of games this week. We're almost done the show. Just a couple things really quickly before we go. This is our standard TV movie section. I've got 3 things, Carlos, but you want me to start?
3?
You want to start?
Holy smokes. Okay, I only have one thing. I just wanted to not rebuttal, but just like add on to your Joel discussion from last week.
You want to go first? You want to go last?
I should go last because it's kind of a long-winded thing. Just tell me these quick hits.
Really quickly. Watching Poker Face.
Yep.
Starring Natasha Lyonne. I mentioned it last week. We finished it yesterday, I believe. Wow. Honestly, I think this might be Natasha Lyonne's best thing. I think this might be her best thing. I think she's a great fit for the character. This is where she plays a person who can tell 100% for certain when someone is lying to her. That's her only quote unquote superpower. Other than that, she's a totally normal person, and she gets herself in these crazy scrapes, like crime happens and people stealing and people getting killed, and she gets mixed up in all this like misadventure. But she's just really sharp. It's obviously an homage to Columbo, which I think is really interesting after all these years, but like the font and the tone, her acting, she makes many references to Columbo, which is really kind of fun and neat. But I think she's great. It's a great character for her. The story seemed to be at first to be like 8 or 10 disconnected episodes, but they actually brought it all together at the end, and it all stitched together in a really wonderful way. It came to a natural conclusion, so if they don't do anything else with it, I feel satisfied with that. Although I would be more than happy to watch an entire other season if they want to bring her back. I think it was great. So I think this was pretty fantastic. It starts a little slow, but give it a chance, and I think by episode 2 or 3, like it's popping, and then it just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
And boy, it's not a procedural. We thought it was going to be procedural, but it is not. Like they do some pretty wild things with the writing towards the end of the series. So.
Yeah, it's got a through line, and I think I brought it to the show, I want to say, a few weeks ago.
Did you? Oh, maybe you did.
I'm pretty sure I did. But I'm glad you're watching it.
Did you finish the whole thing?
I didn't finish yet, though, so you're reminding me to finish the thing
dude,
that I said.
Go back and finish it, man. Go back and finish it.
I'm really close. I feel like I know what's going to kind of happen anyhow, but like you said, that natural conclusion I'm excited to get to. So, 100% agree with that.
Great stuff. The other show I'm watching right now is called Wreck, WRECK. I think this is on Hulu, and I think this is from, I want to say it's from Australia, maybe. It is a 6-episode, really short, limited series. It's about a bunch of teenagers who are on a cruise ship, and there's also a slasher serial killer on the cruise ship, and there's also like mystery. But it's more than that. It's also the lead character, the guy is gay, and the lead girl character is lesbian, and so they portray them both as normal, healthy, regular queer people who are fine, and that's not even remotely the focus of the thing. It's just about who they are, and they show the whole thing in a really positive light. And it's really cute, and there's some romance, and it's funny. It's not too dark. It's not like really super bloody or anything, although there are a couple bloody moments, but it's not really about that. But I feel like overall it's just a really fun watch. It's really quick. Seeing these guys getting these misadventures on the boat and really trying to figure out who's doing it and who's behind it is really fun. So really liking Wreck a lot. And it's only, I think, 6 episodes, so it's a really quick watch. It's good stuff for sure.
Okay.
Last thing I want to give a shout out to, is Razorback, a movie from, I want to say, 1984, 86. You ever seen this one?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now. Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, it is from the same director of Highlander, I believe. I don't know his name at the moment, but this is about a giant razorback boar in the outback of Australia who ravages this town and kills a bunch of people. But it is not just about that. This movie is fucking wild, dude. I never knew what a wild movie this was. I was talking to Mike Bracken, the horror geek, who is a former member of Game Critics and a good friend of mine. He was talking about this on Twitter, and I'm like, oh shit, I always meant to watch this and I never did. So I watched it the other day, and it is like face meltingly weird. It is so strange. It seems like Mad Max in some ways. It seems like Jaws in some ways. Some of the visuals are just like so killer 80s visuals, like the really rich, intense lighting and some of the strange camera shots they do. And just, it's got that energy from the 80s where you would go into like a Blockbuster or like a Hollywood Video or something.
Yes.
And all you had to go on was the picture on the front of the VHS case, right?
Ugh,
and you'd look at these and you'd be like, man, this looks crazy. Does it go hard? Is it funny? Is it romancy? Is it sexy? Is it funny? Like, so you just don't know, right? And you would go watch this movies almost at random and you'd be surprised by like what would happen. It feels like, it almost reminds me of like the adventurous development days on like PS1 or PS2, where like any game could be anything and you never knew what it was, and genres weren't really established, and directors are trying wild techniques and stuff. That was the 80s, man. And I feel like this is absolutely one of those where you think it's going to be a pretty straightforward killer pig, and it's like, whoa, no. The people you don't think are going to die get killed. The weirdest shit happens that you don't expect, and like all these strange like zigzags in the story, and the visuals are just like super like saturated and crazy looking. It was wild film. I thought it was amazing. My son really liked it too. Check it out. Razorback is 100% like superb 80s movie if you want to get a feel for like what the cutting edge was like back then.
Oh my gosh, without going over time, because we are already over time, but tangent. That's why I liked a lot of that horror movie documentary stuff we watched.
Oh yeah,
and talked about on the podcast, because it was showcasing that weird time, the VHS era, where it's like, we're gonna just try a bunch of shit,
see what sticks, dude.
See
Absolutely.
what sticks. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait,
all right, so
one
that's
more show. I'm thinking of it because you made me think of it with your Wrecked show, and it's not a. I'm not saying people should watch it, but I know everybody's watching it already. Is Yellow Jackets? Which did you talk about?
Oh yeah, I want to see that, but I don't have the service that it's on. It's on Showtime.
One episode's free on Amazon, and then you can get the subscription maybe.
Can you get
Showtime.
it on Amazon?
You can get it on Amazon. Episode 1, the pilot, for free.
But the rest of it, then?
The rest of it, you can. I think they make you buy a Showtime subscription.
Okay.
There's other ways of getting it though too.
Sure. So I hear. Yes, yeah. So I hear.
So I just want to say this about it. One, I wanted to love it, and I think I'm out because I just want to make this known to the world, especially people who might want to start it. It's like beautifully and darkly made and produced. Like it's like, produced really well. It has a Lost vibe because it's about an airplane that crashes, and I won't say anything more because it's all like a surprise, really.
It's just like a group of women surviving after a plane crash, right? Is that the basic premise?
But the part that's like Lost is they go back and forward in time.
Okay, I don't know really anything about it. So
yeah, so it has a Lost vibe, and one of the women in the series is from Lost, which is fun.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think anyone will remember that, but I noticed her. Anyway, so it's like good and dark, and it reminds me of a bunch of stuff that's happening right now, like Euphoria. It's got vibes of Euphoria and stuff. Mm-hmm. But what they're doing is and I'm probably the only human or a few humans that will say this, but they're jumping into that Game of Thrones vibe where early on, I will spoil this for people so they don't like get scarred. Early on, the girls are just remember, this is flashbacks and flash forwards.
Yeah.
The girls are just in school, and like one girl tries to, fight another girl and like trips her, and her leg breaks, but her leg comes out of her fucking, the bone comes out.
Compound fracture.
Yeah, but the bone's out. It's fucking gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's the creepiest thing in the world to see. No one wants to see that. It's like, it's traumatizing.
Sure.
That's like what they show early on, and they're like, foreshadowing that it's going to get fucking dark, bro. I hated that. I hated they showed it. I know what they were doing. And then episode 2 or something, like some other guy drops down, minor spoiler, He already has a spear in him. They try to rescue him. He falls and like smashes his head open. I'm like, fuck off. I get what you're doing, but you know that series is just going to keep doing that shit. They're going to be like, look at us. We're being so dark. Look what people go to. The extremes they go through when they're left in an island. I'm mad about this, dude. Now I'm getting just as mad as I was at Game of Thrones.
I can tell.
Because they're doing great acting, great production, great idea and concept. But they're gonna. I'm out. I'm fucking out. Because the minute that third person like got a gross death, I was like, I know what you're doing here. You're leading me down this path to care about these characters, and I'm gonna realize that all these people are fucking terrible, and people are gonna rip people's faces off, and I don't want it. I don't fucking want it. So I think those shows. Here's my last statement.
Here's the last thing.
I think that. How do I make this not as dark as I want to say? I think that type of storytelling and movie making and stuff like that, and even maybe not as games as much, but I think it's bad for like the planet. Because I think that obviously in the specific time, there's a lot of darkness, blah, blah, blah. But also it's just like we can go down two paths in this universe, or at least the one that we're in. And I just feel like when we touch too much of the dark path, man, this sounds bad. I'm just making blanket statements, but it just the same thing when like Game of Thrones happened and the guy took his thumbs and stuck them into his eyeballs, right? I say that right now and people are like, oh, you don't have to say that, Carlos. Well, that was the show, and then they lingered on that moment and let the eyes spurt, right? I'm saying this for effect, Brad.
I've never seen the show, but I'm following
that happens in Game of Thrones like nothing. People are like, oh yeah, that part when he killed that guy. I'm like, no. He did something fucked up that was dark, and then you guys lingered on it, and the camera lingered on it. And that I don't want that to be commonplace. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just feel like there's a humanity that gets lost. And I know this sounds grandiose, but I feel like the first episode when they have her leg come out, wildly out, man. Blood everywhere. Yeah. There's literally no reason for that. You had the girl fall. She breaks her leg. She's holding it. I think it's broken. Done. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's another level here, and this is my final soapbox, that I think that we have to just watch as humans, as we make content. I think there is something to the scope of how it affects other humans.
I hear what you're saying, dude. I hear what you're saying. And
I'm so mad about it, dude.
I know, I can tell, but I totally respect that. I get what you're saying for sure. I am not someone who often likes to poke that particular line, so... yeah, I mean, of course, people can do what they want to do, and art and expression, and
please do whatever you want to do. Yeah,
but yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think you and I probably agree more than we disagree on that one. I think I'm probably with you on that one. So,
well, now we're gonna roll right into one more controversial thing. Then we're gonna go
the closing thing. So, like you said, I made my statement about why Joel Miller is not the most evil character in all of video games last week, and I had examples, and that I took from the show. And speaking specifically of the show, not the game, just how they portrayed it in the show. So I feel like I laid out a case for Marlene to be someone to be really looked at more than she looked at, and also just to give Joel more of a chance because, again, like when the game dropped, people were coming out with their hot takes and being like, Joel this and Joel that. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I feel like you're only looking at half the picture. So if you want to hear my whole spiel, I did that last episode on the solo show. You can catch that at the end. So Carlos, you listened to it. What was your takeaway after listening to that bit last episode?
Well, I've already went on a soapbox and I have no more voice left. But everybody go back and listen to your thing because I think it was a good take and you really went into it for a while. You were by yourself. You had the whole
the whole show.
Had the whole show. But I just want to say two things as I don't know if it's agreeing or disagreeing or whatever it is. But I think they're both disagreeing. Yeah, I have two disagreements. So right. I agree with a lot of what you said in the fact that, he isn't the most evil person in the world and doom the whole society. And it made a lot of sense for him to battle for her if she had no choice, if she had no idea what was happening to her.
Yes.
It makes sense that he would go try to save her. Done.
Yes.
So we agree on that. Makes sense.
We agree. Yes.
And it's like crazy. You don't just kill some woman by not let her know you're going to kill her. Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
So yes to that. The only thing specifically is, in Carlos's opinion, he 100% didn't have to shoot the doctors because other bad guys have guns. Totally get it. They're all going to kill him if he doesn't kill them. Got it.
Sure.
he goes in and shoots the fucking doctors? Like, that doesn't make no sense. He's strong. He can hit them in the head with a gun. He can knock them out. I just think that's bonkers. So I disagree with him shooting the doctors.
Sure.
Also, they're doctors. I don't know. In a world like maybe they're not going to make the cure, but you just don't shoot the doctors.
Sure.
And then the other thing, because again, he can knock them out totally fine. The other thing is, it was the same thing. It was just the fact that, it was a lying bit. Yeah, which you agreed with me too.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
No
I think
one
that was,
should lie. Like,
Agree.
lying is bad.
Agree.
And also at that point, like, they're all free. They're all, safe. I think he could have had a heart-to-heart with her.
Yeah.
And be like, listen, they were going to kill you. All your points. They were going to kill you.
He should have said the facts. That would have been fine. Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a cure. Maybe we can go back and talk. We can figure it out. And maybe you still have something that can cure people. Like, there's just a better way to say that statement.
Right.
So I fucking hated the lying, and there's no reason to shoot doctors. Other than that, I agreed with a lot of it.
Just as a quick counterpoint, I get why you think that about the doctors. And I kind of agree, but at the same time, it's one guy. He's in a building. He needs to get in and out quickly. He can expect some resistance from the doctors and the nurses. He needed just to get her. So the safest course of action, just take them out, because that way it'll guarantee less resistance. So I get why he did it. I can also see your case of why he should have done it. So, I mean, 6 of one, half dozen the other, I guess. That was his choice in the moment, I suppose. But yeah, I think just in general, we agree on the lying, and he should have just been like, I mean, I think just telling her what actually happened would have been enough, because I think it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, it would have been fine.
So yeah, it would have been fine. So. All right.
I have no more voice left.
There we go. Epic episode. Glad to have you back. We really cranked one out for the folks. I hope people enjoy your return. Folks, send us your questions. Send us your comments about this episode or any other one. Hit us up, SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, @SoVideoGames. We're on Instagram, @SoVideoGamesPodcast. But you can also reach us individually. Carlos, where are you directing your traffic this week?
Carl Swedell on TikTok, Carl Swedell Comedy on Instagram. That's it.
All right. As for me, on basically any of the social media platforms except Facebook, because fuck Facebook, it's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 329. Thank you once again for joining us here on the So Video Games Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.